Yeah, there were way more bank robberies in
frontier states. There were 500 bank robberies just in 2023.
That's right. And there were 10 back in the Wild Wild West.
Yep.
School in Western New York has scrapped its plan to introduce Sally, an AI-powered robot teacher, to its classes after backlash from parents. Now, while artificial intelligence has started playing a big role in many people's lives, humanoid robots are not that widespread just yet. Sure, there are some businesses testing them right now, but back in early July, a school district in Western New York announced plans to bring a humanoid robot into classes, a classroom assistant named Sally. The lifelike robot from Realbotics would be able to interact with students in their classwork. Initially drew a little bit of skepticism online, as well as with parents, with a few of them flagging security concerns about allowing a robot to store data about their kids. Can kind of see that. School district has paused its plans to utilize the $60,000 robot in the coming semester due to the growing backlash.
Yeah, this is a follow-up story, right? We did this story originally, and I can see why you'd not want your kids' data stored.
Yeah.
Is that Eddie Redmayne, or is that a Bill Gates lookalike?
I don't know, but he's definitely thinking about buying one.
Yeah,
of
he
these.
likes the robot, doesn't he?
Yeah, he looks more like a robot himself.
Yeah.
Man, those are some creepy-ass looking robots, though.
Yeah. By the way, back to the thing, one of the reasons why, other than the closely bunched buildings, that they were rare, frequently most citizens had a firearm on them and could prevent the getaway.
A lot of guns out there in the Wild Wild West.
Yeah. And back then you shot first and they asked questions later.
Shoot them all, let God sort them out,
One of
right?
the great bank robbing movies. The town's great, but Hell or High Water. Rob them banks in Texas and see what happens.
That's right.
Yeah.
Everybody packing, aren't they?
And finally, a woman in China has gone viral after revealing she spent years biting her husband's toes in an attempt to stimulate his nerves following an accident that left him in a coma. This is your dream girl, Dunaway.
You got to be in a coma, though.
Zhao Jinkin suffered severe brain injuries and multiple fractures 2019 when he fell around 6 meters while rescuing a child trapped on a warehouse roof. Zhao used his own body to shield the child during the fall, leaving the youngster unharmed when he landed head first. Doctors told Zhao's family his chances of regaining consciousness were extremely slim. His wife quit her job as a kindergarten teacher, became a full-time carer while she was also selling her paintings online to support the family. As part of his rehab, doctors advised Song to stimulate his fingers and toes to encourage nerve recovery. She later said she noticed a slight reaction after accidentally biting one of his toes. I don't know how you accidentally bite a toe.
Accidentally did it. My bad.
But this prompted her to continue the routine for years by covering his foot with plastic bag before biting the toes. I guess she thinks it's so disgusting.
Woo.
Wow. Now, Song also spent years talking to her husband, massaging his limbs. He first started opening his eyes in 2024 before continuing to regain limited movement and speech. According to this, he can now understand speech, raise his hand in response, and briefly stand with the assistants as his recovery continues.
Yeah, good for her, man. What would you do for the person you cared most about in life to get them back and maybe get them some feelings?
Yeah, I wouldn't need to bag the foot.
Yeah, I mean, that's a wife right there, buddy.
Yeah.
She was dedicated to get that man back.
That is Trash Today, brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Don't forget our friends at Champy's, providing you great tailgate food in less than 30 days. In fact, 23 days until you get a little high school football regular season action. So you can get back out there and enjoy Champy's Chicken for the high school or the college tailgate, or for watching at home as well as Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Go by and see Sterling and the crew right there. That should be a whole lot of fun coming up this season.
Catch up on all of today's Next Round on demand through the podcast platform of your choice. Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcasts. Wherever you listen, always like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads so you never miss any part of the Next Round.
When you trust a doctor with your life, they owe you proper care. If medical negligence left you or a loved one injured, you deserve answers and compensation. Alexander Shunnarah trial attorneys have recovered over $2 billion for their clients harmed by medical errors, misdiagnoses, and surgical mistakes. They fight hospitals and insurance companies so you can focus on healing. Don't wait. Medical malpractice cases have strict deadlines in Alabama. Call Alexander Shunnarah trial attorneys now for a free consultation. 659-777-7777 or alexwins.law. You pay nothing unless they win. Physical office location, Birmingham.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Welcome in. It's a Friday. Dunaway out today. He's Lance Taylor. I'm Ryan Brown. The back room, all intact. Scott, Brooks, Tyler. When's the next reels out, Tyler? We keep asking you. This one has slayed you, hasn't it?
This one's been killing me.
Yeah.
So after the movie yesterday, I went and got a pub sub, and that was a mistake.
Oh, no.
What flavor?
What did you get, like an Italian or something?
I did.
I got their Italian not long ago. It's very good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's normally
dicey.
very good.
Dicey?
What did you get, lettuce?
I got spinach. I thought I was being safe.
Yeah.
No, I think spinach is still in the. I think it's still in the situation.
Have you
Found
guys
that out the
gone
bad
to
way.
restaurants that lay out where their lettuce is from now?
I have not. Are people
Yeah.
doing that? Like
Yeah.
we source our lettuce from.
Yeah, it was like this farm, and I'm like, hell, I don't know.
I
Is
don't
that the
know.
farm where there's going to make shit your brains out?
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
think Taylor Farms is the one that's being blamed.
They're the one that got pegged.
Yeah.
Long lost relative of mine.
That's right. Sounds about right.
Pissing on the veggies instead of cleaning them.
What if it's a big conspiracy to get people to stop eating healthy?
I don't think you have to conspire to do that here in the United
Well, I'm
States.
Thought about
saying
that.
to
We've-
like get the holdouts.
The
It's like-
holdouts, yeah.
Hey, so back to it though. I've never heard a pub sub being the reason that we couldn't get something finalized. So it blew you out that bad?
I didn't know if I was gonna make it in this morning.
Oh, wow.
Because it put me out from I would say 7 p.m. to around 10 p.m. where I didn't leave the bathroom.
Okay, so now I've got to
You
ask
didn't
you.
leave the bathroom?
Peter Parker was
it felt
shooting.
dangerous to get up.
Peter Parker was shooting his webs last night. You were shooting one. Did you not get to see Spider-Man?
Oh, I did. I went to an earlier show.
Let's don't go crazy here, Lynn.
Come on,
No,
priorities.
Yeah, you said the pub sub was afterwards. Okay.
Yes.
So next reel owning you about like a pub sub right now.
Yep. I've got about 20 minutes left in the footage to edit. But
Okay.
Should be
Well,
out
this,
today.
yeah, I mean, this is a different, normally the next reel is just you and I sitting there. It's one tight shot that Forrester does, easier to edit. We took that up a little bit with the Jaws commentary, but then another layer when we put Brown in another room
That's
with
right.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah, it's a lot going on this.
Yeah, I
And the
understand.
Jaws one was live. This one's recorded.
Yeah.
So I'm going in and putting clips from the movie
Right.
and matching it up with where we are in the movie. So that way, even if you're not watching Jurassic Park along with us, you can still kind of tell where we are. And boy, that's a pain.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. Well, keep working hard. We're
Yep.
pulling for you.
But I want it to be good.
Yeah. Today, as I learned on my way into the building, the very first person I saw on our property here,
Clarence.
our guy Clarence. That's
course.
among the first people
Guy
you see every
lives
time.
here. Have
Guy
you figured
works
out
his tail off.
where his cot is?
He does have an office near us. I think that's his office. Like if he doesn't want to be bothered and he's got to get something done, that's the office he goes to.
It's his workshop.
That's his workshop. But everybody on the staff loves Clarence. Clarence
Clay's awesome.
is our building superintendent. He does a tremendous job. He's the nicest man in the world. Loves sports. He talks to us sports all the time. He's got, as he does most mornings, he's got the old backpack blower up. Sees me walking up. Engine, motor's still going right there. A little, brrr, and he yells, "Under 30." I was like, I don't know what he means by that. I said, what? He goes, under 30 days. I was like, oh, yeah, he is right. It is under 30 days to college football today.
So I didn't even catch what you were saying there
Yeah.
because I was in the New York Butcher Shop last night and I told the guys 30 days. But because you told me that Cam Young is on this heater right now, I thought that was what he was talking about. Under 30.
I don't think Clarence pays attention to the PGA
First
Tour.
night, that was going to blow me away.
I think Clarence was watching
Yeah.
the PGA Tour.
I mean, because the only time brothers watched golf was when Tiger Woods was involved, and he ain't involved in this one.
Yeah, so a little background before the show started. I just saw a tweet that Cam Young was aiming at a 59. He's had like a putt for a 27 on the front. I was joking with Lance, like they shoot one every week now on the regular tour. So you got confused by that. No, Clarence yelled under 30 because we are, in fact, 29 days from football. We can do the Innisfree countdown to kickoff right now. 29 days until college football starts. Your tradition on game day is Innisfree Irish Pub. Irish-inspired pub food, signature Irish gold sauce, and always a world-class atmosphere. Innisfree and Tuscaloosa on the Strip there, and also downtown in Birmingham in the Lakeview District. So 29 days will fly by. I mean, that'll be here. You'll turn around twice, and that's here. But
once you get under 30 days, kind of feels different, doesn't it?
It's here. You know, when I was talking to one of the butchers yesterday at the New York Butcher Shop, and might as well go on and tell you about those guys.
Yeah, that's where I got Jennifer's birthday dinner last night. I got some steaks.
Yeah.
Whole thing.
So we missed each other then. I got in.
It was about, I was in there about 10 after 5.
I was about 6:30.
Okay, yeah.
I was about 6:30, and I just picked up a couple of fillets and a couple of bottles of wine, and just fantastic steaks last night. 2 locations for you. The one we went to, Highway 119 in Greystone. There's a location, the original, right there in Cahaba Heights. But from the specialty meats, the deli sandwiches, great selection of fine wines and desserts. Stop in, see Jim, and those great butchers. Rare quality, well-done service in New York Butcher Shop. But I was telling one of the butchers, I was like, we're 30 days.
That's right.
And I was like, time goes so fast. Like, I can't believe it's already Thursday, now Friday. But once we get to football season, it's like
it never slows down.
Warp speed.
I know. That's the sad thing is you're like, you get under 30 days and you feel like, oh, this will fly by. Kids are going to start back to school. Maybe you've still got your vacation left. Those things, maybe a couple days off here, some lake trips, man, it'll fly by. And then what you want to happen is once 29 days goes by, then it moves at a snail's pace. But it never does that.
Never does. The only way it does is if you are a huge fan of one particular team. We can include college football in this.
Okay.
And you lose your quarterback.
Oh,
and then it becomes
then the season can't get over quick enough.
A disaster season, and then it kind of drags. And you're like, we're 3-9 right now. We have absolutely no shot of getting to the postseason, and it just goes by slower than you can imagine. So, would you rather have it fly by and have a really, really good team?
Yes.
Or,
I always want the really good team. Yeah. I mean, whatever my option is for the really good team. But, that first week gets here. We'll have week 0, which is not awful. You got some games on week 0. I think TCU, North Carolina could be a very entertaining game over in Ireland. But, what happens is you get week 0, that gets behind you. And then that first week, like that Thursday night we used to get better games on that first Thursday night. There used to be one you could really look forward to on that first Thursday night. And then when Fox ramped up their college football, a lot of times they would move a good one to Thursday night, and you'd have 2 good Thursday night games.
Do you ever?
We've gotten less of that over the years.
You want to get morbid? Do you ever think about how many more?
Well, I was being super positive. Right
how many more football seasons you have?
I never think of that, no. Because you don't know. Why think of it?
Well, you don't know.
Why think of it because I don't know.
Like even a best case scenario. I mean, do you have there's 32 NFL teams. I don't think there's a chance in hell I got 32 more college and NFL seasons in me.
I mean,
that's why the Rams need to do it this year.
That's a possibility. Yeah, y'all never win one. But you do that first Thursday night, and then you got some Friday night games now, and then you get that first Saturday, which is fantastic, and then you get that, we got us a good Sunday game, and then you get a Monday night Labor Day game, and then now we will around and we'll have a Wednesday night NFL game. You only get one day off after that. We've got a Wednesday night NFL game this year, and then a Thursday night NFL game this year, and then a Friday night NFL game this year. And now you're back to a college football Saturday, the first NFL Sunday, Monday night football. And by then you're like, well, my gosh, how much season is left?
Is this not the last weekend without football?
Yeah, because the Hall of Fame game is Thursday.
Thursday, yeah. So
until the last weekend without football until February.
Until Valentine's Day.
Yes, until after Valentine's Day.
Yeah, the weekend after Valentine's Day.
Yeah, isn't that insane? When you start thinking of it that way, you're like,
August,
the season
September,
really
October,
doesn't
November.
fly by.
We've got 6.5 full months coming up.
Now, your tricky part there is the week off between the end of the regular season and the Super Bowl, but we kind of ignored that we don't have any football that weekend. We accept that. We're still in football season at least.
Glad it is here. Again, to imagine we've got football in 6 days.
Yeah. Samuel says the Monday through Friday between week 0 and 1 go by slow. So you get that week 0 on Saturday, excuse me. And he's saying Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday until you get it back around to that Saturday.
Yeah, maybe
I can see that, yeah.
I think once we get into full swing and we get into the regular season, there's just so many storylines. We do our college spotlight every day, and it just absolutely flies by.
Yeah, it really, really does.
And there's so many. This is so interesting this year because normally in college football you have the 2 or 3 teams that can win a national championship. We've talked about, there could be 8 to 10 teams that could win it this year. Normally in the NFL, it's more like that. But what's interesting is people are asking the question, the Rams of the field, which is crazy.
No, that's just the dumbest question ever in the NFL. Ever.
It scares
Stupid.
me to death.
Anybody asking that question.
But I'm looking at Mike Tannenbaum, former general manager for the New York Jets, who
saw him in a hotel in Mobile when I was down there, week of the Senior Bowl.
Wow.
Nice guy. I briefly spoke with him.
One of the big contributors to ESPN, but I heard him this morning, hey, look, if Aaron Donald does come, it's the LA Rams Invitational. I'm like, even with Aaron, like
it doesn't make any sense to say that in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, if Stafford goes down, which he did 3 years ago, you've got Stetson Bennett as your starting quarterback.
Which would be awesome. You can never do that in the NFL. There's never an NFL or the field question. You barely do it in college football. I mean, in fact, it's harder right now in college football probably than the NFL. How many do you think could win the national championship of college football?
If I am being realistic, I mean, would it shock me if 10 different teams could win it? No.
Okay. Let's just name them real quick. Indiana.
Yep.
Ohio State.
Yep.
Oregon.
Yep.
Is that all out of the Pac-12? I mean, the Big Ten? Excuse me.
Yeah, probably.
Sorry, Big Ten.
Probably, yeah.
Georgia.
Yes.
Texas.
Yes.
Trying to think of who else you would say. I mean, do you go pretty deep in the SEC?
I would go Oklahoma. I would go Alabama. I would go A&M. I would go LSU.
LSU. Ole Miss. Can I interest you in an Ole Miss?
I mean, if they can completely forget and literally get on a week-to-week basis, game by game, and not look at that schedule, yeah.
And then Miami.
That's
10.
Did you say Notre Dame?
Notre Dame's 11, and we haven't done a Big 12 team yet. Are you willing to put a Big 12 team in there?
No.
Okay, that's 11. That would be 1/3 of the NFL. I don't think you can make a case for me that 1/3 of the NFL can win the Super Bowl.
Okay, I will try. The Bills, yes. The Patriots, yes.
Mm-hmm.
The Ravens and the Bengals, yes.
There's 4.
I mean, hard to believe the Bengals. They've never done it, but Joe Burrow on a heater. I've seen him get to the game.
A healthy Joe Burrow on a heater.
The Texans, yes.
That's 5.
I am not prepared to say the Jags or the Colts. Broncos.
6.
Chiefs.
7.
Chargers.
8. Well, we're not even out of the AFC, so yes, you can do it.
Rams, 49ers, Seahawks.
I mean, it's
Bears,
closer.
Lions,
It's closer
Packers.
than it's ever been. I mean, there were years this felt like the Alabama-Clemson Invitational or the Alabama-Ohio State Invitational or the Georgia-Ohio State Invitational. And it's far deeper now than it used to be. It is, look, love the transfer portal, hate the transfer portal. That is one of the benefits that we've gotten from the transfer portal is it has thinned out some of these rosters and spread them out elsewhere where we can make this argument. Love or hate the expanded playoff. One thing the expanded playoff has given us, you can name 10 teams that could legitimately win a national championship. Not too long ago, only 2 of those could have been involved. Not too terribly long ago, only 4 of those could have been involved.
Yeah,
so, I mean, the expanded playoff has opened that door.
I don't remember the last time the Auburn Tigers or the Florida Gators won 11 games. But just last year in the Power 4, how about these programs that won 11 games, 11 plus? Virginia, Utah, BYU. I'm going to skip some of the big names. Texas Tech, Ole Miss, and Indiana.
Yeah, that's the world we live in. They all won 11 games. 11 games.
But I mean, to talk about Vanderbilt at 10 games and Virginia at 11 wins, and obviously Indiana 16-0. New world.
It really is.
But I do enjoy it. Like, this is kind of contradicting myself because I don't think we should go to 24. If we make a move, it should be 16. And I think we need to wait a couple of years. I thought the 12-team playoff was better last year than it was year one. So I think we need to master that before we do this. But I do think outside of NIL and the expansion of the playoff, I love the parity, and I think this is the most fun we've ever had in the history of college football.
I agree completely. And to drive that point home, Miami, who was, barring an 11th hour pardon from the governor, was not even in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, you're right.
And if you drop out the 2 Group 5 teams, they were the 10th team in the playoffs. They were the number 10 team in the playoffs. Have to go on the road, and they are ball in hand with a chance to win the national championship.
Oh, and by the way, the team that was the last team out, Notre Dame, I think they could have won it all last year.
Yeah, they could have. They could have done exactly what Miami did.
So it's hard to, that's one thing in the NFL you will never say. You would never say of the 14 qualifiers.
That's right.
Whoever that 15th best team is could win the Super Bowl. Impossible. But you could legitimately say that with number 13 last year.
That's right. And the first year we got the seeding right in the 12-team playoff, the very last team in almost won the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that shows you where the parity is right now, if you didn't already know. All right, we're going to hear some coaches in a second. I'm going to ask the question, who is the biggest villain in college football? I think we've got 2 leaders. I want to do the honorable mentions before we get to the 2 leaders. I want to at least people that would be in the discussion. We're going to give you the sound why one of them is making himself a villain. And also, now let me just show you what Scott does every day here. And Tyler. Scott and Tyler, for those of you watching, you really can't see it because it's so white, but they give us a sheet that's got all the sound on it. There's 17 on here today. That's, Scott has got everything from John Mateer to Kyle Whittingham.
Oh, these guys
Matt
are
Rule.
here early working.
Digging through it.
Texting with these guys early this morning.
Yeah.
They are the brains behind the operation.
Digging through it. Now, I don't hear all these. So sometimes I just read what Scott says. For instance, like Scott's got cut number 4 here, Shane Beamer. I said there was no ceiling on this program when I got hired, and that hasn't changed. So I read that, and Scott's giving me a good, good idea of what that is about.
Now, I don't know the context of that.
I don't either.
But I do think there is a ceiling with that program.
Yeah.
And with Shane Beamer.
Kind of agree. We can go back to that one. Let me mark that one then. Let's come back to cut 4 a little bit later. I'll tell you about that later, Tyler. But there's one on here that sounds like
they're all cackling back there. One of us said something. Or
I don't know.
Hey, let's see how many of these cuts we can get off here without Jim here.
We got 17.
Because they're going to linger around for the next month.
No, there's no way. We got 17. I already had 4 marked. Those were the 4 I was going to get to today, and I just added 5.
Scott and I were just having a conversation yesterday after the show of how long will these cuts stay on here? Because it's a running joke. And Scott said, well, in about a week and a half, I'll have a conversation with Jim about how, hey, can I dump some of these off of here? And he'll be like, no, I'll get to them.
No, keep it. Keep it. No, we're gonna knock 4 out. Shane Beamer will not be available. But no, there was one on here where when I read the slug Scott gives me, I'm like, this might be if the way I envision the way the coach answers this question might be the most honest coach answer I've ever seen. If it goes the way I think it's going to go, and it's on the sheet.
Okay,
we're going to get to it. It's a tease. We're going to get to it.
Can you give me the conference?
Southeastern Conference. Okay, so it's a Southeastern Conference coach.
Has this man won? Has he played for an SEC championship?
See, I can't. I don't want to go any deeper than this. Southeastern Conference. And I think if it goes the way I think it will, the most honest quote perhaps I've ever seen in college.
Of course,
football.
that really would be limiting, right?
What? Yeah, have they won a championship?
No, I said if they played for an SEC championship,
so
because your active coaches.
Kirby, Sark, DeBoer, right?
I think that's it.
Is it Kirby, Sark, and DeBoer?
Kirby, Sark, and DeBoer, yeah.
That's your 3 coaches that have even played for an SEC
Glad you didn't
championship.
answer that.
Yes, so the answer is no.
Okay.
They have not. All right, before we determine who is the biggest villain in college football, Hoover Toyota bringing you part of the show today.
Yeah, Hoover Toyota wants to remind you if you are in the market. Again, I was speaking to a friend a couple of days ago. She is wanting to get into a Sequoia. Ex-wife's in a Sequoia, absolutely loving that. They are the best when it comes to pre-owned, when it comes to new, whether it's a SUV, truck, or car. They want to show you the incredible inventory. Stop and see them, conveniently located Highway 150, where they have rolled the red carpet program out for the last 2 decades. They want to make sure they retain you as a customer for life. It starts when they throw you the keys. Then they're going to make sure that service department is ready for you. Each and every time you go in for the oil change to get everything checked. Just fantastic, folks. For more information, not only on the inventory, but also that on-site finance department, check them out today at hoovertoyota.com.
And our guy, Greg from Pell City Storm Restoration Roofing, if you have had any storm damage with some of the storms that have blown through, and they've been frequent this summer, Greg can climb up on that roof and identify that damage for you, and he'll come down and tell you your options. Maybe you need to get the insurance company involved. He's got a great relationship with those insurance companies. He can help you out there. Maybe it's not as bad as you think. It can just be some small repairs. Maybe you need a new roof or you got 5 years left on your roof. Any of those things, Greg is going to give you an honest answer. Greg from Pell City. Here is his number, 205-542-3531, 205-542-3531. For our guy, Greg from Pell City, or Greg from Pell City on Facebook. You can find him there if you'd prefer to communicate with him that way. It is Storm Restoration Roofing. Take care of your roof, and it'll last a little bit longer. But if it's time to replace it, Greg from Pell City takes care of it. 205-542-3531. That's his number. Our guy, Greg from Pell City.
You mentioned storms coming through, and I haven't looked at the forecast all week until today.
Okay.
And it hasn't rained at all this week. So, I wonder if I'm doing myself a justice by not looking at this, because much like you wanting good golf weather and not wanting rain, I want good pool weather.
Okay. Are you getting it? Because
I got it until I just looked, and it says 90% tomorrow.
Where? I've got it at 20%.
That's in the morning, Lance.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well,
It's supposed to rain between like 3 and 7 a.m. tomorrow.
Okay, good. Well, I got a
Okay,
7
okay,
a.m.
good.
tee time, or 7:50 tee time, so I ought to be good, right?
When I was doing the Conor O'Gara show this morning, we were talking about hobbies, and I was like, man, our guys can play some golf.
Yeah. Not playing today. Taking the day off.
That's a shocker.
Well, we've got the Folds of Honor.
Yeah,
thing.
we do need to plug that a couple of times. Yeah, I guess you really can't.
I cannot play today. We got the Folds of Honor thing. All right, so another thing I do with some of our sound here, like when I see what I know is going to end up on the show, sometimes I intentionally don't watch it just so I can give an honest reaction to it. This is one of those, but I saw everybody talking about it yesterday. When we talk villains in college football, Lane Kiffin is always the first name mentioned, right?
Yeah, the problem with Lane Kiffin, he has it on social media, but now he has gone dark on social media. But if he had a better personality, the way, like he can't get out of his own way. So yes, I do think he is probably the biggest villain. But if he had a better personality, it would be next level.
And see, here's what I thought. I thought you were going to say the problem with Lane Kiffin is he doesn't win championships, so it's hard for him to be a villain.
Too.
Yeah. This guy does, though, or at least has won a championship. Curt Cignetti, the Indiana coach, I think, and I'm curious to hear what Lane, a big fan of his, says, or Lance, I'm sorry, not Lane, Lance, a big fan of his, says, of Curt Cignetti quickly becoming one of the biggest villains in college football. Here he is yesterday at Big Ten Media Days talking about the SEC and the cut that went viral from yesterday in Chicago. Here's the Indiana head coach.
The Big Ten is the best league in football. And a lot of really good football teams. It's hard to win on the road. Very physical football teams, very well coached. It definitely prepares you for the playoffs. There's no doubt about it. The numbers speak for themselves. I mean, we don't run a hype machine up here in the Midwest. We believe everything's earned, not given. And when we fall short, we say we fell short. We don't cry a river, whine, and complain. All right? And that's why we're the best.
Man, he's a great coach, but he's hokey as hell.
But he's so confident. He is so confident.
He really is. And it's hard for him to be the villain yet. I know they just went 16-0. If you've hung out with Indiana fans, yes, because that fan base is pretentious after 2 years of good football, and that's it.
Right.
And I think it just comes with Big Ten territory because the only fan bases I've ever hung out with, Michigan, the most pretentious. We were talking about that on Connor's show today. Ohio State right there with them. And now Indiana, and I've hung out with SC, but, never in the SEC or USC glory years.
Yeah.
So I really don't know what that fan base could be or will be. But I do know Indiana, Ohio State, Michigan, very, very pretentious. He is going to be a villain because I don't think the losing is going to stop.
You mean the winning?
The winning, yeah. The winning is not going to stop at Indiana. Now, are they going to win to the level they did last year? Probably not. But I think they're going to win enough big games that he will continue to be obnoxious. And it finally is coming out. I think people thought it was just weirdness before, but it is a sense of arrogance.
Yeah. Text I just randomly got last night. All the text says, I hope Indiana loses every game. I mean, that's kind of what this guy is doing. Is I think he's making them the villain. Can you pop that back up, Scott? Scott makes a point. As he is saying this, they list Indiana's notable games. The Big Ten Network does at the bottom of the screen, which includes Purdue. A notable game. A notable game
it's a
against
rivalry,
Purdue.
Brown.
It's a notable game against Purdue.
Why in the hell would they put that up?
I mean, you couldn't find. Let me pull up their schedule.
No, I mean at Washington the week before.
Are you kidding me? So if I go Ohio State at Michigan, Southern Cal, and at Washington, that's notable games.
Yeah,
I would agree.
like I discount 100% at Nebraska on October 10th, but much more difficult than Purdue. They have got 4 really difficult games: Ohio State, at Michigan, USC, and at Washington. Yeah. If they go 2-2, which they should, they will be back in the college football playoff.
So let me explain something to the Big Ten Network here. Let me be condescending Southern guy here. Southern football guy. Just because it's a big basketball rivalry does not make it a big football rivalry. Just ask Duke and North Carolina. When's the last time you've said, boy, a football game I got to watch is Duke, North Carolina? Yeah. And just because it's a big football rivalry, Auburn and Alabama, the Iron Bowl, recently has become because of the success of the programs.
Well, and it's become a bigger game in basketball. Talking about the programs both being good.
There's been more on the line in basketball for both teams rather than just one team. Yeah. But I mean, but for years that was something that was kind of big around here. But nobody paid attention to Auburn and Alabama playing basketball. And now that they've gotten good and they're Elite Eight and Final Four contenders several years, people paid more attention.
Yeah, I can't remember. The most memorable Indiana-Purdue game I remember was Mike Allstott just running rampant on Indiana. And what was that, 30 years ago probably?
Yeah.
I can't ever remember a meaningful Indiana-Purdue game.
Right. Keith, Sig is becoming Drago from Rocky IV. Drago kind of makes... I mean, you kind of end up feeling sorry for Drago at the end, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, Drago was a political pawn that had no control over his life.
You hated him at first, and then you watch the movie, and you're like, this guy's in a tough spot.
Once he bled, he was humanized.
Yeah. Brandon, Sig is a villain. Bama had a chance to shut him up and instead laid the biggest egg. You're right. Alabama could have ended a lot of this. And
I was thinking about the heater
close.
they were on at the line because I wrote them. I had them against Ohio State in the Big Ten game, their closest Big Ten championship. Then just the domination from Alabama to Oregon. I mean, Miami did play them tight.
Yeah. Cignetti is easily becoming the villain with his arrogant attitude. He likes to run that mouth. That's such a Southern say. He likes to run that mouth, doesn't he? His downfall will be great, Rusty says.
Yeah, but what does the downfall look like? 10-2?
Yeah. All right, Samuel has Tyler, can you cue this back up? So we just this one right here. So Samuel has an interesting question because I heard this, and I think a lot of people heard this as he's taking a shot at the SEC. Samuel says, listen to it again. Is there a chance he's taking a shot at Notre Dame here?
Okay, let's hear it.
So let's hear it. Is this more about Notre Dame than the SEC potentially? So listen to it through that lens here.
The Big Ten is the best league in football. And a lot of really good football teams. It's hard to win on the road. Very physical football teams, very well coached. It definitely prepares you for the playoffs. There's no doubt about it. The numbers speak for themselves. I mean, we don't run a hype machine up here in the Midwest. We believe everything's earned, not given. And when we fall short, we say we fell short. We don't cry a river, whine, and complain. All right? And that's why we're the best.
That's SEC.
Yeah, he starts by pointing out the Big Ten's the best conference. So there's your shot at the SEC. And then one other key thing is he says we don't run a hype machine up here.
In the Midwest.
Where
Indiana is.
Yeah, where Notre Dame also is, by the way. But
interesting, we earn everything. Tony Petitti is trying to expand this to 24 to let 9 and 3s and maybe an 8 and 4 get in.
That's right. It's not exactly earning it, right?
No.
That's leaving the door propped open so your friends can sneak in the movie.
Look, the Big Ten is the best conference just based on the fact that they've won 3 consecutive. And look, I mean, the SEC is obviously really close. The SEC has more draft picks still. It had almost 20 more draft picks last year. But the fact of the matter, the SEC has not played in this game for 3 consecutive years. So to say the SEC is a better conference, it's not factual right now.
Andy says, I'm going to laugh when Indiana falls off the face of the earth this year. Do you think that's going to happen?
That will not happen. I mean, look, if you watch Indiana, the thing is the attention to detail. You mentioned earlier this week their ability to have the continuity and to maintain no attrition on that coaching staff at all. I think that will change after this year. But to have everybody back there, to bring in a veteran quarterback that has started, this will be his 4th year as a starting quarterback in Josh Hoover. A lot of people believe he was more ready coming into this situation than Mendoza was last year. Like, I just don't know. Like, they can't be as good at the wide receiver position as they were last year. But, man, Indiana's going to be really, really good again. I know people hate that, but it's the fact of the matter. And get behind it because this guy knows how to coach. As weird as he is.
Well, as JM says, there's no smoke and mirrors with this team. They're just physical football, and people still doubt them. And he's right about that. It's not. I hate, even though other teams doing this now, I hate his approach of we're going to play a crap out of conference schedule. There's no need for us to play anybody. I hate that approach about him. That's the one thing about Sig. I'm like,
but I would do it.
I know.
Yeah,
but I just hate
back
the
to
approach.
Notre Dame. Like now that Notre Dame and USC aren't playing. Hey, let's get this Indiana Notre Dame. I don't think either one wants to sign up for it.
They have a future home and home together.
When is that though?
It's coming up around like 2030.
Yeah,
I want to say
Notre Dame. Well, I don't know. Maybe Indiana may not have wanted it either. When
I wouldn't think
now that they're good.
I mean, Notre Dame controls their schedule, and if Indiana is going to be a shade of what they are the last couple of years, you don't want them. And at the same time, Indiana, with this conference schedule, this 9-game conference schedule in the Big Ten, they don't want anything to do with Notre Dame. But, I guess, Brooks has got the facts back there. I had no idea that they
I remember that happening.
I want to say Ryan maybe even had that on his, 10 best upcoming home and homes at one point when he had that. a couple of months ago. But
it'll never get played.
Well, Indiana will be the one that drops it. Notre Dame's got to find games. I mean,
but
they
I was
got to
going
play
to say
12.
that this would be the excuse if they can get USC back on the schedule. This would be one of those you would drop.
Scott, can you pull up Texas' schedule real quick on the fly? Texas schedule, because here is the question from Blake. Just give Indiana Texas schedule, Lance. What do you think their record would be? Okay. He says he thinks they'd be fortunate to get 8 wins. There it is. They win right out of the chute. They're going to play Ohio State.
Yep.
In Bloomington, so that would be the same and same. So how do you think that game goes?
I think Indiana wins the game.
Okay, UTSA, they win, so they're off to 3-0. You go to Tennessee. Indiana had Tennessee.
I mean, Tennessee and Michigan are equivalent. They're playing Michigan, so I think Indiana wins that game.
Yeah, Oklahoma technically a neutral site.
Oklahoma's like USC at home. I think they win that game.
Yeah, so you've got them at 5-0.
Yep.
They host Florida.
Win.
6-0. Host Ole Miss.
Win.
Host State.
Win.
At Mizzou.
Win.
At LSU.
I'll give them a loss there.
Yeah, host Arkansas. Win.
Win.
And at A&M.
I'll give them a loss there.
That's their Purdue game. Yeah. So 10-2.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have.
Their schedule is not much different than Texas's.
Yeah.
You can, and I do think the difference is Ohio State out of conference.
Right.
Back to Indiana's out of conference is terrible, but in conference, Ohio State at Michigan, USC, and at Washington is just as tough as.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, at A&M, LSU, Ole Miss, Oklahoma.
Don't disagree.
See, I think this is the narrative of you brought up Texas's schedule. How would Indiana fare with that? I think that's the narrative Sig is trying to get at here when he says it's tough to win on the road. It prepares you for the playoffs, because a lot of SEC people like to say the grind of the SEC schedule and how tough it is to get through the SEC every year. And Sig is basically saying, like, we won the national championship and our schedule is what prepared us for it, which, take that or leave it. But
well, it is true, Brooks. I mean, you go back last year to that Oregon game, and I thought it was season defining. I think at that point, Indiana, they're coming off the 11-1. They really weren't close in that playoff game against Notre Dame, and I think this was a measuring game going into Autzen and being able to beat them, and I think that confidence carried over, and once you saw them in the postseason, look, that gauntlet doesn't get any more difficult. When you have to beat Ohio State in a playoff game, then you've got Alabama, then you've got Oregon, and then, the way Miami was playing at the end of the season, I mean, that was a gauntlet.
No, it was. I mean, I will not take a shot at their walk through the playoffs.
But do you believe that in-season game in Autzen, I thought that was the moment that Indiana completely shifted?
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. That's when everybody took them for real.
Yeah, they went on the road and beat a Big Ten brand in a really difficult venue. And it wasn't particularly close. The score made it look closer than it was. Indiana controlled that game.
Yeah, and in the year before, Ohio State goes into Oregon, and they can't win that game.
Yeah, that's right.
So, that was a defining game for Curt Cignetti and Indiana.
Yep.
And I don't know. I understand how people doubted them last year. I don't remember where we had them in the preseason. I thought they would be good, but I sure as hell didn't think it would even be close. And I thought Mendoza would be really, really good. But after 2 years of this, I'm just not doubting them anymore.
All right, when we return, we will hear what I say might be the most honest answer for a coach could have. If he says it the way Scott's description here leads me to believe he says it. That's not what Scott's trying to do. I just read the description. I'm like, well, if this is the way he says it, this might be the most honest answer about a program I've ever heard. All right, Central State Bank, the bank that is big enough to meet every need you have. They are also small enough to know you. They are a community bank operating right where you are. Central State Bank, whether it is buying that first car, opening the business, Central State Bank will be with you every step of the way, and you're dealing with local people at Central State Bank. That's what makes it so much better when you deal with local community people. It is a community bank, 6 locations throughout Central Alabama. There is one near you. Find them. Central State Bank, big enough to meet every single need you have, small enough to know you. Central State Bank, member FDIC.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at ryanbrownlive.
The insurance company called. They offered you a settlement. Sounds good, right? Wrong. They're counting on you not knowing what your case is really worth. They're betting you take pennies on the dollar because you're scared and overwhelmed. Don't fall for it. Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys has recovered over $2 billion for going to war with insurance companies that try this every single day. Call 659-777-7777 or alexwins.law. Free consultation. You pay nothing unless they win.
Physical office location, Birmingham.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Next Round shirts, Next Round hoodies, and Next Round hats all in one place, nextround.store. Find your favorite piece of gear from your favorite show and put it in your rotation. You never know, you might be in one of our videos showing Next Round gear being worn all over the world. Find all of your favorite Next Round gear by visiting nextround.store. Place an order for you and that big Next Round fan in your life at nextround.store. Look your best at work, at school, at the stadium, or anywhere you go wearing Next Round gear from nextround.store. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from the Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
We continue on the next round. About to do a college football spotlight, our guy from Alexander Shunnarah, and take you to a coach that, to me, sounds like he's being it seems like he's being very truthful about his program, and it might be the truest thing you could say about an SEC program. Before we do that, as we were discussing Curt Cignetti and his somewhat veiled shot at the SEC, I mean, I'd call that somewhat veiled. I think everybody knows, he's talking about the SEC. Someone from within the SEC football world sent me a text during the break, and I have forwarded the image to Scott. It is Harvey Specter, who is from Suits. Is that the name of the show?
I have no idea.
I think that's the name of the show. And it simply says, people talk about you because if they talked about themselves, no one would listen. Boy, there's such a rivalry between these two conferences.
Yeah, I've never understood the conference like fly the flag.
Yeah.
Like I'm about my brand and that's it.
Like you don't go to.
I don't care about the NFC.
Yeah, I was about to say, like if the
I was
Eagles are
pulling
winning
so
the
hard
Super Bowl
against the Seahawks last year.
Yeah, if the Eagles win the Super Bowl, that's in division though. But like the Eagles, if they won the Super Bowl, you wouldn't sit there and go NFC, NFC.
No, I think it is so stupid.
Now, when I was a kid, the NFC dominated the Super Bowl so much, I wanted the AFC to win one. I'd never pulled for Buffalo because I was a Dolphins fan, but if it was the Broncos that were in there.
But see, and I think it would almost be easier in the NFL to be able to pull for your conference, and I've never even heard of that. But I mean, you think about, like, let's just take a Georgia fan. Georgia fans absolutely hate Alabama. They hate Auburn. They hate Florida.
Yeah.
I'm sure they've got to the point where they hate Texas, although they dominate them. Like, how do you hate all these teams and then you pull for them in the end?
It's like a sibling thing, Lance. Like, I can talk shit about my sibling, but you can't. Like, that's the way I feel.
Yeah, I mean, I do think there's an element of that.
But it's a cultural thing. Like, I don't like Big Ten schools talking crap about SEC schools because it's usually done in a demeaning manner.
Yeah, let me put this in perspective. When you were growing up, basically your older brother Shane, did you two ever fight?
Oh, yeah.
But if the Flints came and went after Shane, whose side were you on?
No, and I get that.
Yeah.
But this is different. That
Did
is
Shane pop him?
He popped him with a slingshot. It was unbelievable.
David and Goliath style.
But this is blood. Like, you absolutely hate these other fan bases. So when they get into a national championship or a playoff situation, how do you pull for them?
It's weird. It is very weird, but it happens.
To me, it's a cultural thing. Like, I grew up in the South. I'm proud to be from the South, and having traveled around, I've lived in the Midwest. There is a perceived notion about Southerners from different parts of the country, and I experienced it when we covered the Alabama-Indiana game. They were pretentious, and they thought a certain way about the state of Alabama and the South. So I'm not going to root for a school or for a fan base that thinks that way about the area of the country I'm from.
Ambler says Southerners stick together. I'll root for all Southern schools over Yankee school.
I've never understood it.
Yankee
so,
school.
Brooks, you're obviously a Bama fan.
Yeah.
Did you grow up a Bama fan?
Yeah, my grandfather played football at Alabama.
Okay, so you grew up hating Auburn,
Bloodlines.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it was kind of a weird situation in my family because my grandmother, her brother played center at Auburn, and her husband played running back at Alabama. So
wow.
Okay, well, give me full transparency here. 2010. I know this is going back a lot on you though, but when Auburn played Oregon, who did you pull for?
In that game, I want to say I was in high school then, so I actually think I cheered for Oregon in that game.
2013.
I was pretty neutral.
Florida State. Auburn.
Oh God, I could not stand that Florida State team because of Jameis Winston. So I watched it, and
that was a polarizing team.
I didn't really have a rooting interest in that game.
I mean, Connor did ask me my least favorite national champion, and I went directly to 2013, the combination of Jimbo and Jameis.
Where I grew up disliking Tennessee a lot more than I did Auburn. I grew up in Northwest Georgia as an Alabama fan, and there was a lot of Tennessee fans there. So I didn't actually start as a fan of Alabama. I've become very neutral now that I'm in the media.
2019, honestly, LSU or Clemson, who were you pulling for?
I don't think I had I don't think I really cared. I don't think I had a rooting interest in that game.
It felt so.
So if you really don't care, then you're not pulling for the SEC. So you're on my side on
okay, Lance manipulated that to get you on his side.
No, I think it's more. You asked Big Ten versus SEC. I think the examples you've given are Clemson and Florida State, who sit well within the SEC footprint.
That's true.
The problem is when the Big Ten decided to show up and start playing football, the SEC stopped playing. So, we haven't seen those matchups. I hope we finally get Big Ten on SEC for a national championship because imagine all of these quotes are going to come back.
That's right. No, you'll have to answer for them like the SEC has. All right, let's do the college football spotlight. It is presented each day by our friends Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys. Hit it, Tyler.
The College Football Spotlight.
It is presented by Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys at Shunnarah.com. Shunnarah.com, that is the place to go when you face any legal issue, regardless of what it is. You may think of Alexander Shunnarah as just a personal injury attorney. Certainly he has been very, very successful in that field, but also he does things like fire and storm damage, bad drug and device claims, workers' compensation, employment. The list goes on and on and on with Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys. Shunnarah.com, Shunnarah.com. You don't pay a dime unless they win your case with Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys. Another soundbite I've not heard. This is Mike Elko, Texas A&M head coach. If I had told you This coach is not coached for a championship. You would have guessed Elko. He's one of 13 SEC coaches that have not coached for the SEC championship.
Yeah, but, Elko's been really, really close. I mean, you look at the 11 wins last year. They've had every opportunity in that Texas game to get there.
Yeah, 2 straight years, if I am not mistaken, they've played Texas, and if they win, they go to Atlanta, and they've lost them both.
And that will become a problem if it happens a third time.
I would agree with you. They made the playoff run this year. And Mike Elko gives what seems to me, I'm going to hear it for the first time here, a very honest answer about his program. In fact, if this is what I think it is, he's described Texas A&M absolutely perfectly when asked how he keeps his team from being satisfied after just making a playoff run.
Last year's playoff run, how do you keep this team from becoming satisfied?
I show them our trophy case, and it's empty. And I think they're all very aware of that. And so, I think, listen, we live in a lot of worlds, and so we're obviously happy with the things that we accomplished. We're happy with the direction of our program, but it's also not lost on us that we haven't won the hardware that we're searching for. And so, that gets us into a mindset of growth and getting back to work to go finish this thing a little bit better than we did last year. And put ourselves in a better position maybe to compete for some trophies.
Yep, that's exactly what I thought it would be. That was an honest description of Texas A&M football. He is spot on right there. An empty trophy case.
Yeah, and I do think, when we talk about the pressures that he might cause himself, like victim of his own success, getting to a situation where they've got 9 wins and they lose again to Texas and they don't get to a college football playoff and 3 consecutive losses against Texas. I do think he's got that. Like, that's got to remind Texas A&M fans, like, Elko, to me, since R.C. Slocum, is the best you've had.
100%.
Kevin Sumlin had a really, really nice year with Johnny Manziel.
Yeah. I'd say 100%. Some would argue Jimbo, but Elko's already done more at A&M than Jimbo did. Jimbo's one good year. His best year was in COVID, unfortunately for him. It was a weird time to have your best year as a coach, but that's what happened to him.
Yeah, and I honestly believe that A&M right now is probably got their best coach in the history of the program after only 2 years.
You love this guy.
Yeah, I think he's really, really good.
But if I said to you, percent chance he wins a national championship at A&M, where would you set that percentage? For a guy you love.
Yeah,
you love Elko.
I would put it at 20%.
See?
Yeah.
I mean, is some of that...
But I put it at 0 for Jimbo.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've seen that. It was at 0. But if Elko's same exact situation, but it's LSU, you'd go higher than 20% at LSU, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I probably would, just because you hadn't seen it.
Yep, or at Georgia, or at Alabama, or somewhere where you've seen it, you'd go higher than 20%. It's the fact that, as he said right there, I show our team our trophy case, and it's empty. They've never done it.
So how many standing coaches have national championships? Kirby, Cignetti, and Dabo.
Dabo?
Is that it?
I believe that to be the end of the list, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so, I mean, you get other coaches out there that could possibly win one. Cristobal, would I give him over 20%? I wouldn't.
I would not.
Pete Golding, no way. Lanning, yes. Lanning, I would I'd put Lanning's in. They've never done it, but I'd put it at 60%.
Wow.
I really would.
And you're bigger on Elko than Lanning.
Texas Tech, less than 20. Kalen DeBoer. I mean, I'm going to go like 40% on DeBoer.
Okay.
But I'm down.
You're probably ahead of where most Alabama fans are.
Marcus Freeman, I would put him at about 40%.
Is there anybody you'd go above 50? Oh, you did Lanning, right, at 60?
Yeah, Lanning. I wouldn't Sark. I would have him under 50. Venables definitely under 50. Lincoln Riley definitely under 50. Yeah, I mean, Dan Lanning is the only active coach that doesn't have a national championship that I feel he's got a better than 50% chance of winning one.
Give him better than a 50-50 shot.
Yeah, and I probably would go Marcus Freeman next. And then just because of jobs, maybe Lane and Sark because Texas LSU.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Elko's right there. And to your point, if he did have one of these other jobs, I probably would feel better about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the part of it is you've just never seen them do it, and they have a history of finding ways not to do it.
Yeah, I'll tell you, this is going to be bad news. A couple of things could happen in the SEC, and that's why this season is so fascinating. I mean, imagine if Elko goes back out, Marcel Reed gets better, which is hard to believe with no Colin Klein there, and losing Casey Concepcion, his best wide receiver last year. But if they were to go out and win 10 or 11 games, get back to a college football playoff, and then Lane Kiffin on the other side wins 10 or 11 games and gets to a college football playoff, like there's just not enough room for all of these SEC teams to be good.
Yeah, and then there's not enough room for all these coaches. Well, the playoffs change that a little bit because I do think in some cases you'll be able to reset the clock just a bit with a playoff appearance, where in years past you were out of the 14 playoff, you're probably getting fired. By that I mean like if
okay, well, I'll let you get to your point, and then I got a point.
No, I'm just saying let's take Sark for instance. All right, I know he's a bad example because they missed the playoff last year. I don't know. I got to think of a good example on this one to say what I was going to. I guess Sark could be. Let's say Sark makes it this year. Okay. And maybe they make a little bit of noise in the playoffs. Of course, they're expected to win it, but let's say they make a little bit of noise.
That would be making it 3 or 4 years. Yeah, that's really good.
That's really good. But then he goes.
But if you miss it 2 or 4,
maybe he goes
that's really
straight. I know. Maybe he goes 2 straight years and misses it, but then he gets back in. I think then you've got the all right. We don't want to buy him out. He's in the playoffs. I think that's going to help some coaches out in the long run.
It might, but I would say this. The example I would use is Josh Heupel. Josh Heupel is 1 year removed from not making the playoffs, and everybody last year hamstrung at quarterback. Although Aguilar played well, people are like, damn, program's stale, and it's 1 year removed.
Yeah.
If Tennessee misses it again, that 1 year of equity that was bought is gone going into next year. I mean, would you not think that Heupel is somewhat on a hot seat?
Going into next year, absolutely.
Which is really crazy because I think the expansion, not only is it giving you an opportunity to have that playoff year, but at the same time, if I'm one of these fan bases, I believe we should be in this playoff 3 out of every 4 years.
But there again, if he makes it, loses first round, is out, I think that resets his clock a little bit. I think, okay, well, now you've got 2 playoff appearances in 3 years.
Okay, so what do you do with the Lincoln Riley? We specifically talked about him on Connor's show today, and I brought up the fact that 9 years at 2 Blue Bloods, he's never won a playoff game. If he just gets to the playoffs this year, step in the right direction.
It is a step,
if they're one and done, I'm looking, at SC, I'm like 5 years with elite money, with elite quarterback play, and you've got 0 playoff wins?
Yeah. Your problem is going to be, you're going to have some coaches. I think Lincoln Riley would be a good example on this. Real quick, let's tell them about Odie's before we do this.
Yeah, Odie's Tavern, live music every Friday, Saturday night. We are wrapping up July, which is pretty insane. So we are about to roll into football season sooner than later. A great place to watch all those games is Odie's Tavern. The ice cold beer bucket's full of the Bud Light, the Odie's Famous Cup cocktails. They are the biggest out there. Incredible food from Rodney Davis for 4 decades now. Get in, see Will Haver and that great staff. 2 locations, the original Crestline, newest location in Edgewood. Birmingham Institution is Odie's Tavern.
And our friends at McCurry. McCurry, when you were looking to for a vehicle rental, a car, a truck, a van, McCurry Rentals can take care of you. McCurry Van and Car Rental, the local rental company you can depend on. All kinds of vehicles to choose from, including trucks, SUVs, and passenger vans. Easy in, easy out, easy to rent. Locations in Athens, Muscle Shoals, Huntsville, Coleman on 2nd Avenue Northwest, and Skyland Boulevard in Tuscaloosa. Reserve your rental today for McCurry. Those football road trips, or maybe you're just going from Birmingham to Tuscaloosa, Birmingham to Auburn for a football weekend, McCurry can get you those bigger vehicles to take care of it. 256-559-1003. That's 256-559-1003 or McCurryrentals.com. The other thing the playoffs is going to do, though, is you could have a Miami situation where you take let's use Sark as an example again. Maybe he's borderline, they sneak into the playoffs, and if they were to lose that first game, he's done, right? If they go on the road, like Miami had to do, he loses that first playoff game, you've probably got the buyout money needed to punt him. But then what if? What if he goes on a run? The playoffs are going to change that a little bit.
Ryan Day.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan Day was probably a really good example.
Ryan Day loses at home to Tennessee. He is fired.
That's right.
I mean,
so we've already seen it happen.
Everything we have heard, Ryan Day is out. I don't know who that coach would have been. If you look back at that cycle, I don't know who would have been. Maybe Brian Hartline just gets
promoted.
Yeah, maybe from within. I really don't know.
I think the line would have started at the door to coach Ohio State.
But he goes on an absolute heater. They end up winning a national championship. Now people look back and they're like, what happened last year?
Yeah.
But that's just the life of being Ohio State's coach. But if he would have lost that game, he's already out.
Yeah. So, I mean, the playoffs, that is one thing that has changed. It's probably going to save some guys, but it's going to call some guys too.
Yeah. There are, and everything is case by case, or at least it should be. But again, I go back to Ryan Day. The guy just doesn't lose games. He's 58-8.
Yep.
I can't ever imagine getting rid of a guy like that.
Yeah. I mean, who you're going to hire that's better? I mean, we say that all the time with Kalen DeBoer when people start in on this Kalen DeBoer stuff. I say it every time. Anytime I just don't think Kalen DeBoer is the man for Alabama. I was like, all right, fire him. Who are you hiring?
Yeah, well, and here's the thing, and you don't know if it's going to work at the highest level. Lincoln Riley to USC, I thought it would work at the highest level.
Right.
It didn't. Brian Kelly to LSU, didn't. Kalen DeBoer up until this point has been good, but it hadn't been good enough.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, if Ohio State came open, would point to Marcus Freeman, who played at Ohio State, right?
Right.
Why leave Notre Dame? I mean, I like Ohio State better, but boy, that spot at Notre Dame.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a lateral move.
In this playoff world, Notre Dame's probably the better position to be in. You control your schedule.
Yep.
You've got all these, all these rules that put you in the playoffs with certain rankings and records. Why leave Notre Dame? So, I mean, it's, again, if you're going to fire Ryan Day, fine. Who are you going to hire? That's the question you have to ask.
Of course, in retrospect, it looks really weird that Lincoln Riley left Oklahoma for
USC.
USC.
It does. A lot of people said he was fleeing this Southeastern Conference, but that probably goes back to a little conference pride discussion, too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to leave the SEC to go to the Big Ten, but I don't think he realized the Big Ten was going to be this good.
That was the thing, yeah.
Because, and I brought this up this morning. I mean, would you not, when Lincoln Riley looked at this, okay, we've got Ohio State, we've got Michigan, we're already dealing with Oregon in the Pac-12.
Yeah.
But worst case, we should be the fourth best every year and get into a college football playoff.
Yep.
You didn't account how good Indiana was going to ultimately be.
No, you're absolutely right. Somebody new came on the scene you were not counting on. All right, let's do the viewing menu. Tyler will tell us what's on tonight. It's presented every day by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision.
205-969-8100, the number I called way back in 2003. Dr. Mark Michelson, the first to perform the LASIK procedure in 1995. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. 2015 vision, better than 2020. 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. For more information, michelsonlaservision.com.
So yesterday, as I mentioned at the top of the show, I went to see the new Spider-Man movie. Gonna save my full thoughts on it until next week. I'd like to record a next reel ranking
Can you just
all
tell
the
me
Spider-Man
this?
movies.
We are trying to figure out, now that Brooks told me it's going to rain in the morning, that's probably not an option. Might go tonight, might go tomorrow night, might end up going Sunday. Is it at least close to the first two Tom Hollands?
Yes.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say. It's worth it.
It's worth going, though.
Absolutely.
Okay, good. Okay, that's all I need.
But
because I am going to go. I have talked Jack into, now I think he's going to go with the old man. So excited about this.
Yep. This one.
You won.
Yeah.
This one really makes me excited for the future of Spider-Man and some of the other characters in this movie. So
good. Well, I'm gonna pick your brain. I don't care. I don't need the natural reaction when we do the next reel on Monday or Tuesday of next week, because I want to ask you some specific questions. But we'll save your response for everybody else for later.
Alrighty, yeah, because I do want to rank all of the Spider-Man movies on the next reel.
So, hey, have you watched Cape Fear on Apple?
I haven't.
Luganville brought it up the other day. Our buddy Chad Withrow, who does radio up in Nashville, we had dinner a couple of weeks ago, and he was talking about how awesome it is. It has gotten so dumb on some of the things. Like, I don't understand what's going on with this Cape Fear. I wonder what the chat would say, Brown. I'm sure there's
I'll give it
a
time.
lot of people watching Apple's Cape Fear. It's got a great cast. Javier Bardem, Amy Adams, the Patrick Wilson guy's an underrated actor. But some of the things that are going on, it's just, this thing needs to end. We've only got one more, but I think I've wasted my time with Cape Fear.
Yeah, I don't know how you drag out Cape Fear and have it hit the same.
Yeah, it's, I thought the Scorsese Cape Fear with Nick Nolte and Jessica Lange and Robert De Niro was good, like a really, really solid B movie. But this has become a C- at best for me. 10 episodes I've put in now.
Yeah, I guess it wouldn't have been the original, but the one with Robert De Niro and Nick Nolte was never like a top-tier movie for me. I thought it was solid.
Yeah.
One that I don't really revisit often.
Yeah, I thought Scorsese got out there a little too much with the imagery and, some of the way he shot the movie. I thought like he overplayed that a little bit, like get back to the basics, which he did after that movie. But I thought it was good. But people rave about this Cape Fear, and I'm like, damn, it just ain't that good. And it really has a lot of hokey moments.
Wow. I'll probably stay away from the remake then. Max has added the drama to its catalog. You've already seen the drama, right?
Yeah, I thought it was going a completely different direction. You know, the premise is they have this conversation and she throws out something that she had done or thought about doing in the past, and it makes Robert Pattinson really reconsider, you know, everything about this relationship. And can I say this for Zendaya? Where are you on Zendaya?
Don't know anything about Zendaya.
I think she might be the most overrated actress right now
Can't tell you
in
I've
Hollywood.
I can't tell you I've ever watched a
She
movie
plays
she's
the
in.
same part nonstop.
I really liked her in The Odyssey, love her in Dune, but I don't think she has enough to do in the Spider-Man movies.
I
really
think she
be
is
like
very
that MJ for me.
boring. I don't understand people that say she's absolutely beautiful. I think she looks okay. I think she's an okay actress, but I don't understand how she's become this A-list.
Euphoria mainly is where you see like her acting chops. You don't see
But that's
it.
a bunch of teenage girls watching that show.
Oh, and Dunaway.
Well, that goes without saying.
But there is a solid performance there. It writing-wise, it just wasn't great. But a lot of people were comparing it to like Jared Leto from Requiem for a Dream, like that level performance.
Okay, well, I was reading an article on him, and they said that everybody that's worked with him, they call him diabolical, like he is just an evil guy, like there's nothing behind his eyes.
He
gave,
seems
like
Margot
that, right?
Robbie a dead rat.
Oh.
When they were filming Suicide Squad. He really wanted to hop into the mind of the Joker.
You ever been gifted a dead rat?
I've never been gifted a dead rat. That's a bad gift. I want a live rat.
Well,
I mean, we did a Dirty Santa one time my freshman year in college, and somebody shot a squirrel and put the squirrel in the box and gave it to one of my pledge brothers. Yeah.
How long was it in the box before it got open?
I mean, a few hours, and then it got slung across a room in a drunken fury and hit some guy. No lie.
The old drunken fury.
Yeah. Freaking squirrel to the chest.
Yeah, that's a bad way to go. Yep.
Prime has added the Super Mario Galaxy movie to its catalog. I got to see this at Universal near the Super Nintendo World, so that was a lot of fun. It's not a great movie, but if you're just looking for a fun Mario movie to watch with the kids, then it solves that issue.
I've never seen a Mario movie. You?
Not that I can remember. No.
There's one from either the late 80s or early 90s that was Bob Hoskins as Mario and John Leguizamo as Luigi, and Dennis Hopper played King Koopa. And that is an absolute fever dream.
Yeah, well, Leguizamo, how old he's got. And then I know they played him a little up with the makeup and everything in the Odyssey, but that was another one of those moments I'm like, damn, time's flying.
Yep. And then I'm going to finish up the Spider-Man rewatches with Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse this weekend. Turns out that Disney Plus has every Spider-Verse movie except for Into the Spider-Verse. That one's only available on Netflix for some reason.
Oh,
I don't know why that happens.
So you'll be on Netflix.
So I'll have to jump around.
That's Tyler's viewing menu presented by Michelson. Todd Fuhrman, back from his summer break, makes his return to the show when we come back next on The Next Round.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at jimdunaway.
Facing time for a crime, huh? Got a list of charges looming over your head. 5-0 got your back up against the wall. Them alphabet boys trying to sit you down on that rack. Well, have no fear. The People's Defender is here. Attorney J.B. Brown, powered by Alexander Shunnarah trial attorney. He meticulously investigates every case and challenges evidence. Dedicated to protecting the rights and futures of individuals facing criminal charges. Hit him up now at thepeoplesdefender.com. Thepeoplesdefender.com.
Physical office location, Birmingham.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Never miss anything from the next round when you listen on demand through the podcast platform of your choice, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcast, wherever you listen. Always like, follow, subscribe, turn on automatic download so you can catch every part of the next round. Listen anywhere in the world, anytime on the Next Round podcast feed, and support the show by following, subscribing, and turning on automatic downloads on any podcast platform. Listen anywhere in the world, anytime on the Next Round podcast feed. Thanks for always making the Next Round a big part of your day. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Hey, Lance Taylor from The Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, the return of Todd Fuhrman in a moment, CBS Sports. He's the former odds maker at Caesars Palace, the guy that always gets us ready for football season. Boy, when you hear Fuhrman's voice, you know football's got to be close. Fuhrman will be with us in just a moment. It is the Next Round presented by Bud Light. We're going to be with our friends at Bud Light, Anheuser-Busch, and Walk-Ons this afternoon. The Greystone Walk-Ons location will just be hanging out 4 to 6. We're not doing a live show. We're just hanging out. So if you want to just come chew the fat, talk a little football, we'll absolutely do that with you, get you some good cold Bud Light or Bud Heavy, and all of that is helping our friends at Folds of Honor there with Walk-Ons. You can scan the QR code there on the screen. You can scan the QR code at Walk-Ons. You can round up. You can just make a donation. Folds of Honor people will be there. Lance, $2 bottles, $3 hang on. I'm sorry. My vision. What is that?
$2 bottles and $3 16 ounces.
There we go.
Afternoon. I will tell you this. So it is almost 5 complete years. August 16th will be. 3 of my favorite partnerships over this time have been Bud Light, Walk-Ons, and Folds of Honor.
Absolutely. We got all 3 of them together in one spot today. And it all goes to Folds of Honor, Alabama. It's the Alabama Folds of Honor. So the money stays right here in the state. And if you don't know what Folds of Honor does, They make
Google it, man.
Google it.
It's a great
organization. We highly, highly recommend you participate with Folds of Honor. They make sure the family members of our soldiers that pay the highest price, those that have been killed in the line of duty, those that are Purple Heart recipients, they get college scholarships. And they now have expanded, because of your generosity, to first responders. So come see us today, the Greystone Tattersall Park walk-ons with our friends at Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch. All right, he's been on a 3-week summer vacation because that's how he rolls. It is our boy Todd Fuhrman from Vegas back with us. You see him with CBS Sports, former oddsmaker Caesar's Palace. Fuhrman, welcome back, buddy. How was your vacation?
The vacation was good. It wasn't a full 3 weeks. It was more 9 or 10 days. But just because I don't get to talk to you guys on Fridays doesn't mean I'm not hard at work trying to figure out and forecast the upcoming NFL and college football seasons, Jen.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, NFL, I know Fuhrman knows this. 1 week from last night, we got a game on the field.
Fuhrman, before we get into the NFL, can we talk some college win totals? Because I think this is always that fun time of year. I caught myself trying to go to bed the other night, just, pulling up a site and just going through every one of them.
Some people count sheep. You count wins.
I count wins. Yeah. Win total liabilities coming into this season. Let me throw one out. Not that this is a liability. I do want to get to the liabilities. Like, I love Oklahoma's over 7.5. I know the schedule's difficult, but that is such a low number for a team that actually hosted a college football playoff game last year and should be better this year.
That's the biggest thing. And when you look at these SEC schedules, I think it's going to be a little bit of sticker shock for folks that are fans of the league. We know the big talking point throughout media days, both with the SEC and the Big Ten, is the expanded 9 conference games. You're only going to have 1 bye week on those SEC schedules. And there's a reason that the highest win total in the league, sitting at 9.5 after we've grown accustomed to seeing 10.5s and even 11s when the SEC was at its peak of its powers. You mentioned Oklahoma. Their win total sits at 7.5, and this team power rates for me inside the top 10. I think they have a legitimate shot to make the college football playoff. But when you dig into their week-to-week games, you can understand why odds makers can't place a gaudier win total on them than you otherwise would assume. And that starts as early as week 2, where they'll open up as a 2.5-point underdog on the road against Michigan that I think will go a long way, not just defining Oklahoma season, but the way that people may view these two conferences when you have an opportunity to stack up against one another. And then you look at the remaining schedule for Oklahoma, a little bit of a tricky game, the 3rd week of the season, sandwich spot against New Mexico where they should win, but that'll no doubt be on your card, I'm sure, LT, because the week after that, they go to Georgia, Texas, and things get a lot more difficult. Talent-wise, Oklahoma checks all the boxes, and I can understand why the optimism is there to go over 7.5. At the same time, you can also make a case why odds makers have kept this number a little bit low. And for me, I think betting them to make the playoff provides a little bit more upside than just their reg season win total.
We did have, while we're on college football win totals, someone in our audience asked Lance, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, Florida. Why not Florida? Boy, that over seems good for him. And I think we had him at, 7.5?
7.5 as well.
7.5, Fuhrman. There's another one at 7.5. Florida Gators. We had a audience member that really liked the over. Your thoughts on that would be what?
So I am a big John Summerall fan. Let me get that out there now. I think this program will head in the right direction. But I do actually have a position on Florida's win total, and unfortunately that listener won't love where I'm going with this. I bet a little bit of Florida under 7.5 because I do think in year 0 there is going to be an adjustment period. When you look at Florida's schedule, they should no doubt start 2-0, and in my opinion, their season-defining moment will come week 3 when they go on the road to Jordan-Hare against another head coach making his debut in the SEC. Florida wins that game. It does set the tone for them to do some things that I'm not sure odds makers believe they can. If you lose that game, things get to be a little bit more difficult, even against a down Missouri team. I'm not sure I'm as bullish on Ole Miss as the betting market is, and I just don't see a lot of surefire wins for the Gators. So when you see that many coin flips for a team that's going through a little bit of a transition, not quite sure who the starting quarterback will be, this is one that's got a high level of variance where if everything breaks the right way with an underrated receiving core, Florida could win 8 or 9 games. But if it doesn't go well for them, I think Florida just has to be excited about potentially returning to a bowl game. So I have a little bit of exposure under 7.5 and laid $1.40 to get that ticket in my portfolio.
Not just in win totals, like just in the trajectory of the early season for both teams. That Florida-Georgia game, or excuse me, Florida-Auburn game at Jordan-Hare Stadium, it's going on head-to-head with Ole Miss and LSU, and understandably, most of the country is going to be paying attention to Ole Miss and LSU. But as far as early season trajectory, that is such a massive game for both those teams.
100%. And I think it's both teams that want to try and get themselves back to a baseline that they can use building going forward with first-year head coaches, with Alex Golesh taking over for Auburn and, of course, John Summerall coming in taking over for Florida. I think from a long-term projection standpoint, this is a Florida team that you might want to buy stock in now. The results may not necessarily show up in year one, but I do think there's a lot of reason to be optimistic about how that program is going to go through a change. Whereas for Auburn, a lot of familiarity with a starting quarterback and a head coach they could pair it up. I know Byron Brown has drawn a ton of scrutiny for his accuracy or lack thereof and some of the video footage that went viral on social media. And I think the big question about Auburn, more so than even Florida, when you have a quarterback that leans into his legs as much Brown did during the AAC conference schedule, is that something that can translate when the athletes are bigger, faster, stronger in the SEC? That game for me just as exciting to figure out where these two teams will be, and it'll go a longer way in determining my power ratings on both going forward, even more so than the LSU Ole Miss game that's going to garner all the headlines.
So I know a business owner, and I really don't want to get into the details, that in their industry they were able to hedge some of their business by betting on certain teams.
Waste management? Are they in waste management?
They are not in waste management, Brown.
Okay.
But I do think we could almost... I don't want to get into the business, but I think there is a way Double Down Media could hedge. Like if you look at Alabama and Texas, their win totals, because if Texas was to go under 9.5, which is minus 145 at the site I'm looking at right now, and they miss back-to-back college football playoffs with Arch Manning as their starting quarterback, and Alabama was to go under 8.5 wins, the scrutiny around Kalen DeBoer, like both of those win totals are very interesting, Fuhrman, based on the fact if they go under, what the narrative is with those programs.
I think there's a lot more people, honestly, LT, in terms of mainstream media looking to try and sell Texas going into the season than even Alabama. This is a Longhorns team last year that wanted to make their case about going 9-3, thinking that the resume was enough to get them into the college football playoff. But you mentioned the pedigree of their starting quarterback, and Arch Manning's talents will be on full display week 2 against Ohio State, which will have seismic ramifications for both leagues and, more so for the Texas program. When you look at the remaining schedule they have within the league, lose that game to Ohio State, and I think getting to that 10-win threshold gets to be extremely difficult, knowing how much money they spent to bolster their offense, both at skill positions and, of course, in the trenches as well. I'm not as down on Texas as some people are. I won't most likely have a position on that Ohio State-Texas game unless something drastically changes or we get a really suppressed total, because I think both those offenses are going to need to do a little bit more than they did in that 14-7 snoozer we saw last year. Whereas for Alabama, you guys are much closer to the situation around that particular program. And, of course, the big storyline, who will start under center? Will it be Keelan Russell? Will it be Austin Mack? But I think Alabama has a unique opportunity to go into the season without much in the way of national expectations and kind of go out there and surprise some folks if they're able to play well. For Alabama, their schedule starts out extremely favorably when you include that revenge scenario that they have against Florida State early on. No reason to believe, unless they stub their toe on the road against a very young Kentucky team week 2, that this group shouldn't be undefeated when they play host to the Georgia Bulldogs, in early October. If that's the case for Alabama, that becomes the trendsetter for the season. Just don't lose road games against Kentucky and Mississippi State. And I think there's reason that Alabama could surprise some people. And guys, look, I haven't bet much in the way of the Heisman Trophy market. I do have a little bit of exposure to Keelan.
Oh, wait a minute. Fuhrman, you still there?
Oh, wow. What a time for him to drop off.
He's going to have to start the sentence over so Scott can use it. Did we completely lose him, Tyler? Is he going? All right, Tyler, if you could get him back. Scott, I'm going to do it for you. I'm going to get him to restart the sentence. And Scott can make –
I'm going to need a clean read on that one.
Okay, you're going to need a clean read because I think Fuhrman was about to tell us he's got some exposure to Keelan Russell. Is that what he was going to tell us in the Heisman? So we'll get Fuhrman to pick it up. And then now when this goes out, see, this is the joy of watching the live show. When this goes out on social media, this is going to be nice and clean. You're not going to tell that Fuhrman dropped off.
No idea.
You're going to see the talents of one Scott Forrester, and you're going to be like, ooh, listen to that. All right, now Fuhrman, we're going to need a good clean read here because I can already tell Scott's going to send this out. So start back with your thoughts on Alabama and finish with your Heisman discussion there.
So for this Alabama team, guys, I think this is some of the lowest national expectations that this program has had in recent years. I get that you guys are much closer to the fire than I am out here in the desert. But you look at Alabama's schedule, and for me, it's extremely manageable early on. Games that they'll be heavy favorites in against East Carolina, even on the road at Kentucky and Mississippi State, home against Florida State. While South Carolina will be improved, I think Alabama will have their undivided attention knowing how close that game was last year in Columbia. If things break the right way for the Tide, they should be undefeated going into a game against Georgia that they'll play host to the Bulldogs and have an opportunity to really make a statement there. And I'm a little bit of a buyer in this Alabama team, not in the win total, but I did take on a little bit of asymmetric risk betting.
What is going on here?
This is crazy.
That's twice in a row at the same part of the answer.
Yeah.
What are the odds of that? Something weird. Is it our phones you think or his, Tyler? What do you think? What's your expert opinion on this?
My expert opinion is I've got no idea. I didn't touch anything.
Normally 15 minutes into an interview where we have a technical problem, we let it go, but we can't.
No, we can't.
Yeah.
We can't. This time.
Yeah, I mean, if he was talking about Iowa, we could let it go.
Don't care. I was not winning a Heisman. But this time when I get Fuhrman back on, I am going to just set him up for the Heisman part. Because that's the part I really want to hear here.
No reason to buffer. Let's just go straight.
That's right. We're going to go straight to the Heisman. That's the weirdest thing, though, that 2 straight times the phone dropped at the same spot. 2 straight times. Can you tell about Hemphill? Lance was locking Hemphill while we went over for him to come back?
It's funny. We were out in the lobby with one of our buddies and Cheese, our intern out there. His father obviously works for Hemphill, and we were talking about Hemphill because not only the issues I seem to have all the time where the guys were out this past week, but my buddy that was out there was talking about he actually had a Hemphill out at his house last week. Whether you experience any plumbing or cooling issues this time of year, whether it's home or business, they are the name that you can count on. 205-229-2090 when you call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Tell them the next round sent you. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
Hemphill Services, always, not just at Lance's house, but houses throughout Birmingham, taking care of good people.
Fuhrman's like MIA now.
Yeah. Hey, he said, Tyler, try a cell. He says he never loses us. So we're back to a potential phone issue here. He never loses us. He said he's heard us every single time. Jay Bake says he's been sitting on Austin Mack for Heisman at plus 4,800 for more than 2 months. I mean, the problem is, I would guess, from your perspective, you're going to get value on an Alabama quarterback because they don't know who it is, right?
Right.
But the flip side of that is if they don't start against East Carolina, you could just crumble the ticket week 1 because if you've got Mack and Russell tears it up against East Carolina, you might not see Mack.
But if you were to tell me that Austin Mack would be the starting quarterback for 11 games in the regular season and I could get a ticket at 48-1, I would take it. That's value.
Yeah, 48 plus 4,800 is what he said. Yeah, I mean, if you're getting an Alabama 12-game starter at 48-1, you got a good spot, especially a Kalen DeBoer quarterback. I mean, his quarterbacks play well.
I mean, inconsistency, I think, or inconsistent would be the best way to describe Milroe. But at his best, he was one of the best players in college football. Last year, Ty Simpson was one of the biggest surprises of college football.
Yeah.
So whoever that quarterback is, whether it's Russell or Mack, I think they're going to be extremely efficient. Will they win a Heisman Trophy? Probably not. I mean, because you look at the list of quarterbacks for DeBoer. I mean, Penix was a finalist, but, there's no chance one of these guys can be better than Penix.
All right, let's go back to Fuhrman.
Russell maybe ultimately.
Yeah. Fuhrman, just your Heisman exposure as it involves Alabama. where do you stand on the Heisman?
It's going to come with a long-winded soliloquy, but I figure my signal might cut out for the 3rd time here. So I did place in Keelan Russell at 40-1. I think he can win the job and provides a higher ceiling. At the same time, I'm fully aware that if things go off the rails, this is a ticket that could end up in the circular file long before we get to the middle of October.
40-1. I mean, we were just discussing getting an Alabama starting quarterback because we have Jay Bake in the chat who says he's got Austin Mack at 48-1. Either of those numbers, if you're getting a 12-game Alabama starter, which is the unknown, which is why it's 40-1 and 48-1, but if you happen to get an Alabama 12-game starter at one of those numbers, that's about as good a value as you'll find in the Heisman market.
100%. When you look at the way that the Heisman market has changed over the years, the blueprint is out for odds makers. They're going to make top 10 teams and their starting quarterbacks priced in that 7, 8, 9-1 range. You see the prices on C.J. Carr, Arch Manning, Darian Mensah, etc. But if you think you can get a leg up on a quarterback competition for a team that could win 9 or 10 games from a power conference, like Alabama with a bit of pedigree, it's going to give you an opportunity. So whether you believe in Keelan Russell or Austin Mack, that makes a world of sense to try and bet one, if not both, thinking that an Alabama starting quarterback could put up some big numbers. We know Ty Simpson was very much in the conversation until late in the year when things started to get off the rails for the Crimson Tide.
All right, he is Todd Fuhrman. Man, we fought
By
through
the way,
that.
I'm seeing Austin Mack at 80-1 right
80-1. Well, that's an incredible value. Or that tells you they think Russell's got the job, right?
Yeah, probably.
Which one? Fuhrman, thank you for thank you for fighting through that. We greatly appreciate the effort there.
Hey, always a pleasure, guys. And we'll work out the kinks. It's still the preseason when it comes to the phone system. We got 5 weeks to be match ready in late August.
That's right. This is why we play preseason games, Fuhrman. This is why we have to do it.
We need those reps accordingly, much like the Miami Dolphins will need as many reps as they possibly can get.
Easy. All right, Fuhrman, that's it for you. Thank you.
Be good, boys.
We'll see you. Todd Fuhrman, CBS Sports, former oddsmaker Caesars Palace, with us on the Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys Hotline. Michelson Laser Vision, Lance, bringing you part of the show today.
Yeah, 205-969-8100, the number I called way back in 2003. If you've been procrastinating, you wear contacts or glasses, at least find out if LASIK is right for you. Dr. Mort Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business, conveniently located UAB Highlands. When you make that call that I made, ask for Amy Toller, the next round sent you. She will hook you up with a hassle-free consultation. 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
Scott, I crack open Twitter this morning. One of the first things I see is video from our friend Maria Martin over in Atlanta of Tua Tagovailoa throwing the football. He's back, Scott.
Yay.
I have never – everybody's higher on the Falcons than Scott, the Falcons fan is.
I know.
Everybody's
higher.
look,
he's been let down year after year.
I am with the Falcons the same place I am with Auburn football.
You know,
Show me.
This is how worn down he is. Yesterday, and we've kind of got the bathroom routine about at the same time.
Yeah,
we run a break.
Yeah, we get 2 breaks, so you got to go one or the other.
He informed me yesterday, first time I had ever heard this, that he would rather the Chicago White Sox win a World Series than Auburn win a national championship in football.
Wow, that's your passion level with the White Sox.
Dude, I just went to Chicago to see him.
I'm well aware. It's easier to get to Auburn.
Much easier.
It is.
Yeah.
I've not been to an Auburn game since I got out of TV. No, that's not true. I went to the Iron Bowl with you guys that first year.
Of course, I say that.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
You, if I am in a seat taking off on the tarmac, heading to Chicago, and I get behind the wheel, depending on what part of Birmingham you're driving to, I think you can get to Chicago quicker than you can get to Auburn.
Oh, yeah, in a plane, yeah.
Sure, in an airport.
No, if a plane leaves Shuttlesworth Airport and a car leaves Shuttlesworth Airport, the plane gets to Chicago before the car gets to Auburn, to your point.
Yeah.
If we're leaving at the same time. Yes, that is absolutely true. But
gotta dodge all those spare tires on 280
and a bear
and a
Yeah.
bumper.
Do we
no,
have
we do.
update?
Brooks, give me the update on the bear that you just gave me in the last break.
So let me pull James Spann back up here. I just saw it on
the wildest thing is that
Spann's gotten out there a little bit.
Yeah. The biggest coverage of the 280 bear has come from meteorologist James Spann.
Well, he gets sent a lot of stuff.
I know he
feel
does.
Like,
but do we not have a zookeeper or
Yeah, if people want to send us animals, we'll
do animal reporting.
Yeah, I mean, he gets sent so many things.
And let me tell you,
so
we're not going to
30
dig
minutes
deep enough to see if it's AI or not. We're just going to throw it out there.
Shelby Bear update. Shelby the bear, they're calling it now.
I don't like that. I like 280 bear.
Yeah, bad name.
Was on camera after midnight last night, just off US 280, not far from the Hargis Christian Retreat, which means he crossed US 280 at some point.
Which was the most dangerous thing the bear has ever done in its entire life.
And it's now east of the major highway in rural Shelby County, east of Chelsea.
Which is good news. He's back in the woods.
I think he's trying to.
Lee Branch to Hargis. That's a hike.
That's a hike. That's a haul.
I think he's trying to find Buc-ee's.
There you go. Here's the surveillance.
Yeah, I mean, that's photo courtesy of Daniel Wilson.
Is that photo at Hargis, or is that?
That's someone's backyard.
That's somebody's backyard.
Or someone's got a camera.
Imagine
I don't think Hargis has cameras.
Yeah, probably not. Imagine your doorbell camera. Like my doorbell camera is set that when people get within a certain radius of my front door, I get the notification. Imagine opening that thinking it's the Amazon guy and it's a black bear.
Here's what I want to know.
You look before you open, right?
No, I'm talking about opening the app. Like I get a video, I get an alert, hey, somebody's at your door. So I open the app. I mean, it happens like 2 times a week that somebody's at my door.
I always get, because I've got multiple cameras, and I get the activity out back, and there's always, a couple of these cats slinking around. I don't know where they come from.
Yeah, my doorbell cam gets a kid coming over, to jump on the trampoline with my daughter, or the Amazon guy. That's the only reason we have a doorbell camera at my house, apparently.
Yesterday, I had, during the show, the biggest, catered meal delivered to my house, and I was like, what is going on? Because nobody was there. And this chick, you could tell how pissed she was. She had the wrong address. And all this food just on my porch at
It's on your doorbell camera?
And she's got her hands on her hips looking around, just ringing the hell out of my doorbell. Dogs are going crazy.
Those dogs
They
wanted
would've
that.
ate it.
But if she had gotten that package, I don't think she comes out alive.
No,
I
probably
really don't.
not.
She is upset that she went to the wrong house. Yeah. She should thank God she couldn't get through that
But
door.
I was just thinking about, who has a catered meal this size on a Thursday?
At a house.
Yeah.
And then isn't at the door.
Yeah, it doesn't answer the door. Yeah. If I've got a big catered meal, I'm probably looking for them to show up.
Jugs of tea. It was a full setup.
Yeah, back in my delivery days, I would have either called that lunch or just left it there.
Oof.
And then gone about my day.
Let the animals do their thing.
Man, I would have had so many wild animals by the time I got home.
That's how you end up with black bears. Well, the good news is the black bear is back in the wilderness a little bit.
I want to know if Aldot, I want to see if Aldot's got a shot from 280 because they have cameras on 280. I wonder if that'd be
a shot of him actually crossing.
Yeah, I wonder if they can go back in their history, from overnight, and see.
Oh, they can because they tried to find that little kid the chick lied about on.
Oh yeah. We had cameras everywhere on that. Like a deer will, you hit at speed, you hit a deer, it screws your car up.
Car's
I can't imagine a black bear. That's worse than a deer. That's a big old flick.
Deer will total your car depending on the speed you hit them at.
Yeah, black bear's dangerous.
I think the bear's probably a little smarter. It doesn't dart out in front of the car.
Probably not. No, you're probably right about that.
Yeah, it's almost like deer aim for your car.
Brown thinks he can outrun it.
Now, there was how did we get to the bear? I was bringing up this Drake London thing. I don't even know how we got to the bear.
Up the bear.
I did not bring the bear up.
I'm pretty sure.
I might have brought the bear up. I think I might have said, hey, do we have an update?
Right, so
I thought somebody else brought the bear up, and I just asked for the update.
I was talking about Tua. Coming back. I have no clue how we got to the bear, but it brings me to Drake London. And Drake London,
one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, nobody talks about.
You think he's going to have a big year because you like this team?
Yeah, look, I think you finally, if you get a healthy quarterback, you're probably going to have some of the best quarterback play out there. Yeah. He's got some of the best hands in the NFL.
But you always say what he did yesterday.
Dangerous.
It's dangerous for a good year.
He proposed to Sophia Gaba.
Okay.
Gabe, yes. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah.
She's going to be London, thankfully
fiance,
for her.
Been dating her for 3 years.
Right.
So the story goes, on the second date 3 years ago, they shared a Taco Bell dinner.
Okay.
And at that point, she told him that it would be, quote, a dream for someone to propose to her with a meal from Taco Bell.
And he did just that.
And he said noted that second date.
Good for him. Paying attention on a date, made the mental note, and a Taco Bell. Now,
they could even have the ceremony at the Taco Bell Cantina. I was telling Scott about it this morning. They have these locations. One is a beachside Taco Bell.
Right.
And
I've been in one in Chicago where they actually serve margaritas.
Yep. They have one in Vegas as well.
Same food?
Yeah. It's just Taco Bell plus alcohol.
Okay.
And then if you get married there, they'll make you a Baja Blast cake.
And by the way, open late night. I never understood why Taco Bell did this, the liability. The people that are already coming in, it's like a Waffle House. Can you imagine if Waffle House had kegs and it was like dollar beer?
It would be.
It'd be a disaster.
It would be, yeah.
I mean, that would be one of those things like just go in there and get content, just hang out. Hey, I'll buy your meal and let me sit with you and just watch this.
Yeah. Well, good for him, but he did. I don't know if he went Mexican pizza. That would be my only criticism.
Not the bag they put the Mexican pizza.
Nope,
in.
It is not. This looks like just your standard tacos and burritos.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
I've got pretty much the same order every time I go: two Doritos Loco Taco Supremes,
okay,
and a Mexican pizza. That's my standard Taco Bell order. And here's what I do: I start with a Doritos Loco Taco, eat half the Mexican pizza, 2 slices of the Mexican pizza. Follow that up with the second Doritos Loco Taco Supreme, and then finish the Mexican
Never
pizza.
thought you were that OCD.
It's not really OCD. It's just that I'm
really.
No, you're switching up the flavors.
I'm switching up the flavors. Okay. I've got to go half and half.
So,
sounded pretty OCD.
Yeah, it is not though. It is not. I'm not OCD by nature. I don't think.
They said the date started out on a ranch. The 2 petted alpacas. She went on to say she's got a crazy obsession with alpacas. Very strange. Two went to wash their hands afterwards. That's good. He said he forgot something in the car. He made a quick getaway to the vehicle. The ranch gave her a note.
Delights.
Oh, yeah.
And
can't beat those.
That's when he proposed in front of all the Taco Bell. I don't know about the Mexican pizza. Do you see it anywhere?
I didn't see it. No, don't think they
I'm
did.
pretty sure I see some cinnamon twists, though.
Oh, boy, I could crush. Oh, here we go. They had a Crunch Wrap Supremes and assorted other items.
Did you guys know that the Mexican pizza is like 99 cents this week?
Is that because they're having to leave tomatoes off?
It's because of all the.
Well, it doesn't have lettuce.
The lettuce stuff has hurt their business.
Well, I think yes, but I also think tomatoes are questionable. I think they're leaving them off the pizza, which I'm fine with.
You've pulled me in. Like there's one of my favorite joints has got their chicken pot pie on the menu for the next 2 nights. And so I've got to get in there tonight or tomorrow night. It is absolutely ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I got to get in there one of these 2 nights, but I might do Taco Bell.
Taco Bell, 99-cent Mexican pizza.
Or maybe
$1. Yeah, they're advertising it as $1. Right
is it right now?
Yeah.
I'm sending cheese out with the corporate card. Who all's down for
I'm
Mexican
in.
pizza?
Mexican pizza for lunch.
I'll take one, yeah.
Mexican pizza
Scotty?
for lunch.
Yeah, I'm in.
Okay. Why would I not be?
There we go.
All right, we will return with 40 and 40. I'm excited now.
I am too.
She's going for a lunch run. I mean, I think I may want more than one.
That's what I'm going to say. Hey, you
let's
can't
just
buy
get a
too
bunch
many.
of them.
Let's just get 20 Mexican pizzas.
Let's just $20 of Mexican pizzas, and we'll just dig through them up here. Yes.
Lord.
No, I'm fine with that.
Those workers are going to hate us.
Oh, are they hard to make?
They're a bit of a pain.
They should be expecting this, though, if it's $1.
If it's $1, they're making a ton of them.
If you're running that deal, you're
we'll get them on the early
expectation.
end. I'm one of the older I get, man. Like at lunchtime, 10:30, let's do it. Dinner at 5, let's do it.
Don't care.
Yeah,
don't
so
care.
We'll
if I'm hungry, I'm hungry.
Wait. I thought it said it was on July 28th only. I thought it was for the week.
Well, no, I want Mexican pizza now. I don't really care.
Dang it, Brooks.
Yeah, we're going to do it.
We're going to do it anyway. We may not do 20 now.
Yeah, we'll do it anyway.
Everybody gets one at least, though. All right, we'll do the 40 and 40 when we return. We'll unveil our latest team, which also sets up 4 downs. Urology Centers of Alabama brings you this part of the show. Your urological health is of incredible importance. At Urology Centers of Alabama, they make sure that is taken care of. Everything from kidney stones to vasectomies, the list goes on and on and on. UrologyCentersAlabama.com to find a location nearest you. UrologyCentersAlabama.com or call 205-930-0920. That's 205-930-0920 or UrologyCentersAlabama.com.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
You know, sometimes injury attorneys get a bad rep, being called ambulance chasers, showing up to the accident scene before the EMTs get there. At Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys, this ain't that. We get enough cardio, no need to chase ambulances. Look, if you're injured in any type of accident, don't accept a dime from the insurance company. Hit up the gators of the litigation situation. Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys. Call 659-777-7777 or AlexWins.law.
Call me, Alabama. Physical office location, Birmingham. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Next Round shirts, Next Round hoodies, and Next Round hats are all in one place. NextRound.store. Find your favorite piece of gear from your favorite show and put it in your rotation. You never know. You might be in one of our videos showing Next Round gear being worn all over the world. Find all your favorite Next Round gear by visiting NextRound.store. Place an order for you and that big Next Round fan in your life at NextRound.store. Look your best at work, at school, at the stadium, or anywhere you go wearing Next Round gear from NextRound.store. Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
All right, we started the show in our Innisfree Countdown to Kickoff, reminding you that we're now under 30 days to college football season. 29 days. 29 days until we kick it off. College football. Everybody obviously excited about that around here. And we know it's getting closer when you get under 30 days, but you also know it's getting closer when we do our 40 and 40 and we start to dig into the top 25 and start getting closer to the top 20. We're at number 21 today in our 40 and 40. It's presented by our great friends at Hoover Toyota.
Yeah, Hoover Toyota wants to remind you, if you're in the car buying market right now, whether it's car, SUV, or truck, new or pre-owned, our friends at Hoover Toyota, they've got the best inventory, that on-site finance department. I'm speaking from experience. 2 purchases over the last 2 years. If you want reliability, you want safety, you want something that's going to hold its value, that is the Toyota. Stop in, see Scott Peoples, all the fine folks conveniently located Highway 150 or online, HooverToyota.com.
All right, Scott, let's unveil it. We go to the ACC with a team I've seen described as maybe an ACC sleeper at number 21. The Louisville Cardinals check in. Louisville at number 21. We will start in the top 20 on Monday. The number 21 Louisville Cardinals, like I said, this is kind of some would say a dark horse ACC team.
Yeah, I mean, look, last year, if you have Virginia and Duke playing for the ACC championship, who's to say? And then the year before, SMU, who's to say Louisville can't get there this year? They're coming off 9 wins. They played in the ACC championship game back in 2023. Jeff Brom going into his 4th year, 28-12 overall. The offense is going to revolve around Isaac Brown. He is one of the best running backs that nobody talks about. Kid averaged almost 9 yards a carry, just electric out of that backfield. I'm interested to see what you're going to get at the quarterback position, because when you look at the transfers that have come in, Jack Plummer from Purdue with Jeff Brom, an experienced quarterback. Tyler Shuck all over the place from Texas Tech to Oregon.
Yeah, guys played everywhere.
Yeah, now the starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. And then Miller Moss coming over from USC. So you had experience at quarterback. Lincoln Kleinholz, who will come in, 36 total pass attempts in 3 years at Ohio State. So this guy's green.
Yeah,
lot of upside.
But a good core. I think people think Jeff Brom's a good quarterback coach. I mean, that's your point there in bringing that up.
Yeah, I mean, he's had really, really good, quarterbacks throughout his career. And, the defense, Cleve Lubin is one of the best pass rushers in football, 8.5 sacks last year. You had the number 1 pass defense, giving up less than 190 yards per game last year in the ACC. And when you start to look at this schedule, Brown, no Notre Dame, no Miami, no Clemson, no Virginia. They're probably going to be favored in 8 or 9 games. Their most difficult game on paper is week 1 against Ole Miss.
Yeah, which is a very interesting game, neutral site there in Nashville to start it off. And if they can spring that upset win, boy, they can build some momentum in that schedule there if they can spring that upset win. And Pete Golding's first game is, the actual head coach, not just a guy that was pushed into that situation.
Yeah, I think the floor for this team is probably 7-5, 6-6, which would be a disaster coming off the 9 wins. But, if you lose Ole Miss, then you've got a tricky game against SMU where you're going to be a slight favorite.
That's right, week 3.
You got to go to NC State.
Yep.
We don't know what we're going to get with Florida State. I think Syracuse is going to be much improved with a healthy Steve Angeli. You got to go to Tech. We don't know what you're going to get with North Carolina, but that's on the road. And then year 1, Will Stein, Kentucky. I mean, to me, it's a very, very doable schedule. I think they're more than likely 8 or 9 wins again this year.
Well, Jeff Brom talks about being more consistent and not just winning those big games like a win over Ole Miss would be. Here's the Louisville head coach.
I think for us, we have had success in the past 3 years winning big football games. I think we know how to be aggressive in how we attack things. I think our players and coaches respond against good opponents and step up to the challenge, which is not easy to do. And at the same time, we've got to be able to be consistent every week and play to that level and win close games. And that's always a great challenge. But when you play good football teams, you've got to win in the small areas, and you've got to make more plays than they do, and you have to coach well.
Do you think we'll ever know? Like this guy, I think Jeff Brom is viewed as a really good head football coach. I think people respect Jeff Brom.
Yeah, I would say, he is viewed as a very, very solid coach. I'm trying to think of the equivalent in the SEC.
We're never going to see him in a big-time job, though, I don't think. I mean, he had Purdue, which is the bottom feeder of the Big Ten. He jumped out of there as quick as he could. He's at his alma mater. They've got financial issues. So maybe if he can have some success there, he'll jump to a big job.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to pry him from Louisville because I think Louisville loves him. I think the fan base really, really likes him because he is one of their own.
If they can't get that money squared away, though, that's going to be a problem.
That could be a problem. Yeah. Probably Josh Heupel.
Yeah, I mean,
Heupel's resume is going to look better
because he's been to a playoff.
But he's had the better job.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I think Heupel's well-respected amongst his peers. I think Brom is that kind of same guy.
Nick says Brom's a great play caller. Great play caller.
He is. And so is Heupel.
Yeah. That's a good point, yeah. Samuel says it's probably because he's bald, but Brom to him kind of looks like J.K. Simmons.
Oh, wait, go back.
I'm sorry, Tyler. We had already changed sound bites. That's on me. It's probably because he's bald.
Looks more like Mark Meadows at
Yeah, he does. Our buddy Mark Meadows that owns Chick-fil-A on 280.
He gave me shit about my Oregon hoodie too.
Mark
everybody.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why it was so weird.
Because it's Oregon, man. You're in Alabama.
Well, and Forrester brought up, like, how does an SC guy wear an Oregon
That
hoodie?
is a good point. Scott brought up a great point.
The only
it was a nice gift.
I will never touch is another NFL squad, like, on my body.
Right.
But with I've got so many different college T-shirts. I mean, Colorado, NC State, Illinois. I mean, just random shirts. So, I mean, I've got SMU too. You've got SMU.
I love SMU stuff. Yeah.
It was gifted. So
Troy said
Oregon's got great gear. I just thought it was odd.
It's a good looking shirt.
As an SC fan.
But didn't you wear it because Fitzy got it for you and we had Fitzy on?
I was going to surprise him because I think he got it thinking I would never wear it. And then when we had him on, I didn't realize on this visual platform he wouldn't be looking at us.
Yeah, he was just looking at the camera.
Now, he did send Maddie the better looking hoodie. But,
well, rightfully so. Yeah. Morgan, Brom is an underrated coach. He's a good coach, can get the Cards to the college football playoff. Good this year. I mean, it's the ACC. Crazier things have happened.
I mean, if I'm a Louisville fan, I'm very optimistic that it is our year that we get to 10 wins. We play in that game again, first time since 2023, and one game situation to get in.
Tyler, I'm sorry about this. Go back to cut 7, if you will. So their first game is against Ole Miss. And as we said, Ole Miss, it could not have been a wilder season last year. You have the best regular season in school history, or at least modern-day school history. You lose your coach to LSU. You replace him with your defensive coordinator, all because you've got this random quarterback out of Ferris State who takes over 4 games in and becomes the best quarterback in the SEC. Your coach leaves for LSU. Your defensive coordinator takes you to the semifinals, ball in hand with a chance to play for the national championship. Could not have been a crazier season for Ole Miss. So Trinidad Chambliss, Louisville's week 1 opponent, asked at SEC Media Days, how do you follow that up? I was interested at his answer here from the Ole Miss quarterback. How do you follow up last year if you're Ole Miss?
How does this team follow up last season, where you guys were kind of this Cinderella team in a way that accomplished so much, making the first playoff? And the way that it ended right at the end of that semifinal game, how does this team follow that up? What are the plans and the mindset for you guys?
Yeah, the standard at Ole Miss is winning a national championship, but, we can't get too ahead of ourselves. Last year is last year. That's done with. Nobody cares about what we did and what we accomplished last year. It's a new year. So now we're just, looking forward to fall camp and attacking that, as hard as we can. And then, week 1 in Louisville.
Do you think the standard really is winning a national championship? That's why I brought that up.
Yeah, I love me some Trinidad Chambliss. The objective, the goal is to win a national championship. It's not the standard because you've never done it.
It's hard to be a standard if you've never done it, right? Now, you're right. If you call it the objective, look, our goal is national championship or bust. I mean, technically any team in America could say that.
It sounds kind of ridiculous. It would almost be like, is it possible that somebody that's running the grill at McDonald's can be a beard award winner?
It's possible, yeah, but is that the standard for the McDonald's grill operator?
No, I don't think it's possible.
I don't think we're comparing Ole Miss to running the grill at McDonald's. They're a better program than that, but you see what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's been closer to McDonald's than a Michelin restaurant.
Yeah.
It's
So
not
they're
the
like
standard.
the Five Guys, maybe?
No, he's got to leave McDonald's to do it. That was your question, right?
Well, I'm just saying,
like he's not going to win the Beard Award working at McDonald's, but if he's running the grill at McDonald's, and then a guy's like, I like your attitude. Why don't you come work at my restaurant? And he learns a lot from him. He has his own restaurant one day. It's possible.
Yeah, look, and
that's that would be a great American success story.
And I do think the standard has gone up each and every year for Ole Miss. So I think they are closer to accomplishing the ultimate goal than they ever have been in the history of this program, because I don't count the 60s because I wasn't alive.
I mean, look, that last play, they could have easily beat Miami.
Oh, yeah.
And the last play in the end zone to me was pass interference. They
It
should have
was.
had an untimed down from the one.
Keywan Lacey, give it to him.
Yeah, I mean, 1 or 2. By rule, I can't remember where they put the balls at the 2.
Yeah.
Pass interference in the end zone, untimed down from the 2. So they should have had that, in my opinion. If they do that, I mean, I don't think it's likely that they play Indiana as good as Miami did, play Indiana as well as Miami did. But I can't rule it out either. I mean, Miami then had ball in hand with a chance to beat Indiana. So they weren't that far away from winning the national championship last year. They weren't that far away. They're probably closer than they've ever been since the ones they claim in the 60s, for sure.
Man, if I told you, though, like Trinidad Chambliss is just an amazing story from Ferris State. But if you just saw this picture and you were like, okay, he's a All-American quarterback, or he is a counselor at a science camp.
I'm going to say that if you didn't have the SEC logo, if you just had Ole Miss in this, I'm like, okay, so this is the chemistry student that won their award, and he's talking to the media. I don't know why we're interviewing the chemistry, student that won the big grant, but okay.
Yeah, this does not look like
doesn't look like the best quarterback in the SEC.
That he was. Yeah. And you heard Luganville the other day. I mean, back to Trinidad Chambliss, there are some people that think he's going to experience growing pains because now
I kind of do.
Weiss is gone, Kiffin's gone, that schedule, everybody's going to be on the lookout. But you heard Luganville the other day, if I could have one quarterback right now, it would be Trinidad Chambliss.
I mean, but how about DJ, Daniel Jeremiah, the best draft scout that is in the business with NFL Network and ESPN, said the most intriguing quarterback he watches is Trinidad Chambliss.
Yeah. The first time we interviewed Bryce Young was in Atlanta, SEC Media Days.
Yep.
And we were blown away how small he was.
That's right.
That is the exact same size as Trinidad Chambliss, but DJ brought up the point, if Bryce Young can go number 1 overall, why can't this guy be a first-round pick?
That's right. Now, if you missed DJ, I would highly recommend to go back and watch it on demand. A lot of NFL talk, and we ended with just a little bit of a draft discussion. The NC State quarterback, whose name slips in my mind, CJ Bailey, he was like, that's a guy that has really stood out to me, primarily because of his size. He's a big kid, right?
You can get him at 125 to 1 to win the Heisman.
Right. And obviously DJ was talking more about draft potential than Heisman, but boy, that is a long shot to win the Heisman.
But it's a big, long shot. Again, with their schedule, they could get to that game. If they get to a college football playoff, I think he would be a finalist.
Nick says Joe Judge as offensive coordinator, something to worry about for Ole Miss.
Yeah.
But I don't know that Joe Judge is calling plays. I don't know that that has ever been specifically stated that he is the chief play caller. In fact, we had a guest on, I think it might have been Andy Staples who brought that up last week from SEC Media Days. Like, who's calling their plays? We knew last year that it was primarily Lane with Charlie Weiss.
Charlie
input.
Weiss Jr., yeah. I think that was a tandem. I think they had a really good rapport.
Right.
The offenses were great the last couple of years at Ole Miss, and I do think they're going to take a step backwards. And again, you start to look at the schedule. I mean, Louisville's not a cakewalk. LSU at Florida, at Vanderbilt, Missouri, at Texas, Auburn, Georgia, at Oklahoma. It's just a brutal gauntlet. And we began the show talking about the biggest villains in college football. Pete Golding is one of the more likable guys in college football, and I am pulling so hard for Pete Golding.
Yeah, I like Pete, and I think people would get behind him if he won. I think they appreciate the fact that you had a coach that bailed on a team, and he took it over and got what they got out of it. Like, everybody thought they were going to beat Tulane, but nobody thought they got past that. You're going to go play Georgia, Pete Golding versus Kirby Smart, Ole Miss versus Georgia. Come on, man. And they win that game. And then the way they played, obviously, as I mentioned against Miami earlier, I think he earned everybody's respect for the way that team played under his leadership.
Yeah, the SEC was interesting last year because it was, all the teams were like 10-plus wins, so they were all in the top 15 of the final poll. So you didn't have anybody on that backside. My point was going to be, if they go 8-4, if I'm an Ole Miss fan, I know it's going to be tough. But with that schedule, if you're 8-4, you're probably still ranked between 20 and 25.
Give me my 4 losses, though.
I mean, if we're just playing the odds.
Yeah, just do the toughest games. Tell me I lose my toughest games. Who have I lost to?
Your toughest games, I'm going to start from the back of the schedule. At Oklahoma.
Okay.
Georgia. Mm-hmm. At Texas. And then it's going to be LSU.
Yeah, that's your problem.
That's going to be tough.
That's going to be your problem, right, is you've lost that LSU game. Now, if I'm 9-3 and I had that win over LSU, and I beat State again, but I don't make the playoffs, I think I'm pretty happy. I think as an Ole Miss fan, I'm like, I would like to be in the playoffs, but first year, boy, that LSU night, guys, y'all remember back, that was a fun night when we beat LSU. And I'm 9-3. I'm just outside the playoffs. I beat State again. I think I could probably.
I'm going to contradict myself here.
I could stomach that.
I think there could be a 9-win team that gets in. As difficult as their schedule is, I don't think the brand is big enough to get 9-3.
I would agree, though they were just in the playoffs. So.
But really, when you start to look at the 4 games, can they win 2 of these 4 games? And I'm the swing games like at Florida and at Vanderbilt, that's one thing. But those 4 games, LSU, at Texas, Georgia, and at Oklahoma, I don't know if they can win 2 of those 4.
I mean, that's a lot to ask of anybody in the SEC. I mean, you take any team in the SEC and ask them to win 2 of those 4, and that's a lot to ask.
Yeah, I mean, I think the easiest of those 4 is LSU. And then I would probably go at Oklahoma, and then Georgia, and then probably at Texas is your most difficult.
That is a challenging schedule if you know you got to be 10-2 to be in the playoffs. There's no doubt. And for Pete, I think that's the expectation, right?
No, it is.
You take over
with this quarterback.
You've got the best returning starter statistically in the SEC.
I guess Deuce Knight would have been the guy if he was unable to get eligible again, Trinidad Chambliss.
Yeah.
I think if Deuce Knight is starting, and this is not shitting on Deuce Knight because Deuce Knight might end up being a hell of a quarterback, but I think the expectation with this schedule and Pete Golding in first year would be like, let's get bowl eligible.
Yeah, 7-5, 8-4 would be great.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with you.
Because of Trinidad and because of the buzz.
Best returning starter, yeah. All right, so that is our 40 and 40 presented by Hoover Toyota, the Louisville Cardinals. A little Ole Miss talk, tall stand for you there as well. We've got 4 downs coming up, and also I'm just going to see how close Lance can get on some of these. CBS, think about this during the break. CBS did their top 10 at every position in the NFL.
Okay.
So I'll throw out the position and just see how close you can get to the top 10 on some of these. But now some of them, like if I go offensive guard, some of these are going to be off the board. We'll do the big stuff. Top 10 at each position in the NFL, according to CBS Sports. That 4 downs, trash. Our friends Folds of Honor in the next hour. We got a lot to do. 1 more hour to go in the week. It is the next round presented by Bud Light.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter @ScottForesterTV.
Dump trucks, delivery vans, tankers, 18-wheelers, 35 types of commercial vehicles share the road with you every day. When one hits you, trust me, the company's lawyers are already moving. You should be too. Over $2 billion recovered. Alexander Shunnarah trial attorneys are ready to fight for you. Call 659-777-7777 or visit alexwins.law for your free case evaluation. Don't wait. Alexander Shunnarah trial attorneys. 659-777-7777. alexwins.law. Physical offices, Birmingham.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Never miss anything from the next round when you listen on demand through the podcast platform of your choice. Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or Google Podcasts. Wherever you listen, always like, follow, subscribe, and turn on automatic downloads so you catch every part of the next round. Listen anywhere in the world at any time on the Next Round podcast feed, and support the show by following, subscribing, and turning on automatic downloads on any podcast platform. Thanks for always making the next round a big part of your day.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000.
Remember the name
That's
Way to Wellness
205-969-3000.
if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from the Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, go to the final hour. It is the Next Round presented by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Trash coming up this hour. Also, we still got to get to 4 downs. Dunaway out. He'll be back with us on Monday. Tyler, Scott, Brooks, the entire crew here. Cheese, the intern, on the way to Taco Bell to get us Mexican pizzas. Why? We don't really know. We were just talking about it and we're hungry. I'm always hungry up here.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was nothing new on that. All right, CBS Sports. Oh, first of all, Champies brings you this final hour of the show. Tyler, I'll ask you the question. If you were at Champies today, you would have what?
I'm going with my usual, the chicken tender platter, because you get 3 great big juicy chicken tenders.
That's right.
Along with a piece of white bread that's a nice little palate cleanser. I like to dunk it in the ranch or sometimes dunk it in my baked beans.
Oh, yeah.
Get the baked beans and potato salad as the sides.
Do you combine baked beans and potato salad sometimes?
I do.
Scoop of each? That's a really good taste. I like that. Yeah.
I would definitely go Mississippi Delta tamales.
No doubt with the tamales. That is Champy's World Famous Chicken. Doors are open now. You can go enjoy a Friday afternoon cocktail from our friend at Megan or any of the great items on the menu there at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Before we get to 4 down, CBS Sports ranked their top players at each position. We won't go every position here, but we'll do some of the primo ones. 12 panelists that cover the NFL. CBS Sports got them to rank their best player at each position. Quarterback, you think is?
Quarterback is going. It should be Josh Allen.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, he was ranked number 1. The lowest ranking he had was number 2. The lowest anybody ranked him was number 2. So he was in the top 2 on everybody's ballot.
Selfishly, where's my man Stafford?
Selfishly, your man
He better be
Matthew
in the top
Stafford
5.
did not make the top 10. No, I'm kidding. He's 3rd.
Okay.
Highest ranked 2nd, lowest ranked 6th. Boy, it's hard to find 5 better quarterbacks.
Yeah, it really
than
is.
Matthew Stafford.
Well, age is going to get him sooner than later.
Since it's the primo position of quarterback, I'll just hit their top 10 really quickly. I won't do this for everyone. Josh Allen 1, Patrick Mahomes 2, Stafford 3. I think anybody with Mahomes coming off that injury right now would take Stafford over Mahomes.
Yeah. Are they going to go Burrow 4?
Burrow 4.
Lamar Jackson 5?
5. Drake May 6. I think we're a little quick on Drake May at number 6.
I
Drake May
would
6.
agree with that. I would put Dak in the
7.
top 10. Okay.
Yep.
I would also put Jared Goff in the top 10.
He's tied for 10th.
Okay.
Herbert is 8.
Okay.
Jordan Love 9.
Okay.
And Daniels and Goff tied for 10. Who do you think they voted the best running back in the NFL? 12 NFL panelists.
Well, I mean, there's only one of two ways to go. It's funny. I told you I've gotten into this. I got baited into this high stakes fantasy league for the first time ever.
High stakes.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Okay.
But I got the rules sent to me last night, and they were like, "We're also going to do draft order tonight." And I'm like, "How in the hell are we going to draft?" Oh, we're not drafting until the Tuesday before the first Thursday game, but we're going to go on and do draft order.
Okay, so you know where you're picking.
So there's 8 of us. I got the number 1 pick, and I'm going to go on and tell you, Jamar Gibbs will be my number 1 pick.
Jahmyr Gibbs is number 2 on their list behind
Bijan Robinson.
That's right. Yep.
And then I would think that Saquon's still got to be in there.
Actually, he's not. Jonathan Taylor 3rd and Derrick Henry 4th.
There's Kyron Williams.
Saquon 6th. We're going to do every Ram at every position. He is not on there. Also receive votes. Wide receiver, best receiver.
Best receiver, they're going to go either Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson.
That's 1 and 2.
Yeah, and then I think at 3, they're either going to go Jackson Smith and Jigba or they're going to go Puka. I would go Puka.
It's your guy, Puka. Yeah, he is at number 3, and then Jackson Smith and Jigba at number 4.
Okay.
Best tight end in the game. I wish Dunaway was here for this. There's your hint.
Yeah, well, look, I've already been thinking ahead on this. If I have an opportunity at both Brock Bowers and Trey McBride, who do I go with? I think I would go Bowers because I think he's going to get better quarterback play this year with Kirk Cousins starting off the season for Clint Kubiak. But Trey McBride is right there with him. There is no denying those are your 2 best tight ends in football.
Yep, and that's exactly where they went. Brock Bowers number 1, and he's just been on a bad team with no quarterback play.
And he has battled injuries a little bit.
Yeah.
I think Trey McBride is right there with him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost when you go back and you see Kittle and Kelsey, what they were doing at the same time, that's what you've got with those 2 guys right
I
now.
saw, I was just watching, because you heard DJ talk about on the show on Wednesday that he thinks that they want to kind of redshirt Mendoza, which means Kirk Cousins is going to take the majority of your snaps.
Yeah, he said he would be surprised if Mendoza's playing in the month of October.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, if I'm Kubiak, I'm probably go unless you really think it's going to be to the detriment and it's going to curve his learning ability. I mean, we've seen some of the quarterbacks thrown to the mix, like a David Carr that never was the same.
Interior defensive lineman. This is your defensive tackles, defensive ends. This is a tough category, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, I so you're going to include Myles Garrett here, right?
No, he'll be
linebackers.
Yeah, he'll be among the linebackers. He's actually edge. They've got a whole category for edge.
Chris Jones.
Chris Jones is 5th. That shows you how tough this category is because he's spectacular.
Who would we have number 1 then if it's not Chris Jones? Jalen Carter?
Jalen Carter's number 2. Jeffrey Simmons is number 1 for the Titans.
Well, I brought this up the other day when we were talking about the best Mississippi State players.
Yeah.
And I brought up Jeffrey Simmons. Like, I don't know, how he wasn't argued along with Dak Prescott.
So Simmons 1, Jalen Carter 2, Quentin Williams, the Alabama great, with Dallas now 3, Leonard Williams 4, and then Chris Jones 5. Edge defender.
Oh, well, that's Moscow.
Yeah. Who do you think's number 2?
Should be Max Crosby.
It is Micah Parsons. Max Crosby is 5th.
I don't have a problem with Micah Parsons at all. You know, we tend to forget when he went out last year with Green Bay how they completely fell apart down the stretch.
Will Anderson 3rd.
Yeah.
Already in this. This is a stat category, too. Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, Will Anderson, Aiden Hutchinson, Max Crosby.
Yeah.
Top
Great
5
players.
in that. Yeah, all great players. Off-ball linebacker is Fred Warner of San Francisco. Your CB, your cornerback. Who do you think the best cornerback in the NFL according to CBS Sports is?
It is going to be one of 3 guys. I would probably say Patrick Surtain, and then I would go Christian Gonzalez, and I would go Trent McDuffie.
Patrick Surtain is number 1, the Alabama great. Gonzalez for New England is number 4. McDuffie's all the way. Trent McDuffie is who you went?
Yep.
Is number 6.
Wow.
Yeah, Derek Stingley of the Texans.
Okay.
Is 2nd, and Devin Witherspoon of the Seahawks is 3rd.
Okay.
And then finally, your best safety. And this guy's been, well, I won't tip it off because actually this describes 2 guys. This describes 1 and 2. I was about to say this guy has been a great safety for a long time with his franchise, but actually 1 and 2 both have been. No, I will say this. I think of all of these, this is the only unanimous number 1. Nobody ranked him lower than 1.
Oh, wow. Why am I
Baltimore Ravens.
Kyle Hamilton.
Kyle Hamilton, Baltimore Ravens,
sure.
and then Derwin James 2nd.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, both those guys have been tremendous safeties.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think they actually did a pretty good job on this. I mean, based on obviously the way you were guessing, you were thinking along their lines of the 12 panelists.
Yeah, I would be interested to see if Aaron Donald does come back, where they would put him on the interior defense.
Yeah,
line.
I don't know. I mean, would you think people would say, I don't know what you're going to get out of him?
Yeah, I still would probably have him 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, just based on his ability.
Yeah.
Hey, Inverness Country Club, the place to go if you're looking for a club home in the Birmingham area is Inverness Country Club. ICCalabama.com is where you see everything about Inverness. ICCalabama.com. What you're going to find when you do your tour at Inverness Country Club is you're going to see a beautiful clubhouse. You're going to see that great course. The food in the clubhouse is terrific. That tennis facility, newly renovated, world class, makes it the best overall tennis facility in all of Birmingham, many are telling me. And also the resort-style pool with the cabana. But the people are what makes Inverness the best. You can see more at ICCalabama.com or call our friend Erin Hilliard. She'll give you a great tour of Inverness, and it could be your club home. 205-991-8608, 205-991-8608 for Inverness Country Club, ICCalabama.com. That is ICCalabama.com. While we're on golf, they wanted me to get to the poll results from yesterday. So, a bit overstated, but occasionally, this is not overstated, that I'll hit a bad shot on a golf course, right? And I get upset at myself. I blame myself. I don't blame the club, don't blame the ball, don't blame the lie. It's me. It's all me. And would you call me a pretty laid-back guy?
I would call you a laid-back guy.
Yeah. But if I run hot anywhere, it's on the golf course. I'll like when I hit one of those shots, I'll run hot. Now, sometimes when you hit a shot, you end up with a little mud on your club face. And a lot of times I'll just tap it on the tire of the golf cart to knock the mud off and then brush the rest of it off my towel.
Just a tap, though, right?
Yes, Scott, just a tap. But, and I am not saying that this is false. If I've hit a bad shot into it, it's a little more than a tap sometimes. Sometimes it's a pop, right? You know, a little more than a tap. I'm a little pissed, right? So Jim says yesterday, I played with Brown Tuesday. Sometimes he hits a bad shot and hits the cart. Or Wednesday, we played Wednesday. Brown hits a bad shot and he hits the cart. And I said, I've never hit the cart. I hit the tire.
Well, the tire's part of the cart.
That is what spawned this discussion.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Brooks put it to a poll. Scott, how did the poll turn out? You've got it.
We got about 63%, that have some sense about them. Yes.
Is the tire
Hitting
part of the cart?
Tire is hitting the golf cart.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, the only thing he's trying to avoid is damage to the club first.
That is accurate.
Damage to the cart second that he would have to pay. There is
Accurate.
nothing he can do to that tire.
No, the tire. I mean,
this is hitting the cart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the most people agree with you. About a 60-40, split right there.
37% of the people who answered this really need to, not play semantics, not split hairs.
In the old corporal punishment days when Dad would get the old belt or switch out, however that happened,
Yeah.
and they'd put it across your back, your ass, whatever. if you decided to spank your kid on his foot, it would still be.
Yeah, but I don't have tires. I mean, the foot's part of the body, obviously.
Well, the tires are part of the cart.
Yeah, but you're not hitting the actual cart. You're hitting the tires of the cart.
Okay, but
if you saw someone in the parking lot with a baseball bat hitting the tires on your car, would he be hitting your car or be hitting the tires?
I mean, I don't think I would make any sort of.
Let me ask you this: would Ray Rice still be out of the NFL if he would have stomped his girlfriend or wife's foot instead of hitting her?
These are a lot alike. Yes, he would. He would still be in the NFL. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's still domestic violence, right?
Well, it is.
But in that video Scott had up, you were beating the hell out of those rims.
The problem with the video is I was not in the bunker all day. Scott's got me in a bunker, and I was not hitting the rims. I hit the tire.
That's actually the Brown Bandit.
That's the issue with the video.
The tire. Yeah, that is the issue. Scott has me in the bunker.
I bet you were hot playing in there.
I bet. So I was hot. Trust me, in more ways than one. I mean, look, you just hit the same bad shot over and over. It's gonna impact you. So there, I mean, look, the people.
Way to commit to the bit, though.
Yeah, and by the way, you brought up Cameron Young at the Rocket Classic.
Oh, what did he end up? Have you looked?
Yeah, I mean, you brought him up. He was on.
Well, he was playing number 9 when we started the show, and I told Lance
before.
He
played the back 9 to start, so he was on 18.
Yeah, he had a putt for birdie to shoot a 27.
He missed it.
So he shot 28 on the front. Loser.
Yep, and now he is all the way through. He's got 2 holes to go. How many birdies do you think he's got on the back?
0.
One,
yeah. Slowed down a little bit, didn't he?
Yeah, he's just
not going to shoot a 59.
Nope.
You think he's in a cart tire because he's upset? Probably not. He's a professional golfer, Ryan. He acts professionally. He doesn't hit a cart tire. Although I have seen those guys lose it a little bit.
He could still, card low 60s here. Because he's got a par 3 coming up on 9. He's at 55 right now, so he's going to be in the low 60s.
All right,
it's a
great round. Let's do 4 downs. 4 downs every day, presented by our friends at Central Asphalt, Central Alabama Asphalt and Construction. You ride the beautiful roads of the great state of Alabama. You see that road work being done, whether it is some of the state jobs, federal jobs, municipal jobs. Great chance you see our friends from Central Alabama Asphalt doing it. You want a quote on your job, big or small? 205-349-0910. 205-349-0910 or centralalabamaasphalt.com. Just because they're doing those bigger projects doesn't mean they don't have time for your parking pad at your home, your new driveway, your parking lot at your church, your community center, your place of business. They can do that for you. See everything from our friend Central Alabama Asphalt at centralalabamaasphalt.com.
First down.
College football playoff first. Louisville, our team that we previewed today at 21, or Virginia Tech? Big expectation with Franklin taking over.
Yeah, I mean, you've at least seen him in the playoffs, but it was at Penn State, obviously, right? That was the power of the Big Ten. The problem, Lance, is for most of those teams in the ACC, you're going to have to win the ACC to get in it.
Yep.
And
but I mean, where you are right now in the ACC with Clemson kind of middling, it's like Miami with all their momentum. And again, if they would have missed the playoffs last year, I think you would just say this is the most wide open conference in all of college football. But I think it is like Miami and who's going to be up there with the Hurricanes. Virginia Tech in the next couple of years could do it. I don't know about you, the history of both these programs. Virginia Tech's had a better history than
they have, but it's all under one coach. Mean, and the question has always been, can anyone else unlock it the way Beamer did? And I think Franklin's got the best chance of anyone.
Yeah. And the good news is he'll play a lot of unranked teams in the ACC.
And that was always his Achilles heel, is he couldn't beat the ranked teams.
Yeah, I'm going to go Virginia Tech here.
Oh, really? Over Louisville?
Yeah.
I would have thought you would have gone Louisville because I think I would do. Better chance to make the playoffs. I'd go Louisville.
Second down.
Current job longer, Jeff Brom at Louisville or Will Stein across the state in year 1 at Kentucky?
Look, everybody is in love with Will Stein. What was Stoops at Kentucky? Let me look it up real quick because I just want to know.
There's no way Will Stein can do what Mark Stoops
No,
did.
he cannot, and that was going to be my point. How long Stoops got with the record that he had. So Stoops at Kentucky was 72-80, 38-68. He was 30 games below 500 in the Southeastern Conference.
Yeah.
I just saw you cringe.
Yeah,
you get on to me all the time for getting all over Stoops, and he was 30 games below 500.
But I think at times most difficult job in the SEC, and there were multiple double-digit wins there.
He had 10 wins in 2018. No, there was only one. Oh, no, wait a minute. They had to give some games up. I hate it when Wikipedia does that. They were 10-3.
Yeah.
So he had 2 times where he had double-digit wins.
That's impressive at Kentucky.
But let me ask you this. Stoops.
Will Stein will never win double-digit games.
If you stop me with, I'm going to give you Stoops' early records. You stop me when Will Stein gets fired. Okay?
Yeah, because the expectation, real quick, before you go through this, Stoops had the name, or at least,
The
was
pedigree,
aligned.
yeah.
Will Stein is a big expectation, and again, you got to throw the Indiana factor in there.
Yeah. 2-0, 0-8, 2-10, 0-8, 5-7, 2-6, 5-7, 2-6.
He's gone.
Oh, so he doesn't even get 4 years.
Gone.
Because Stoops' fourth year, he was 7-6, 4-4.
If you win 12 games in 3 years with the money they're paying him, no chance.
Yep. So, I mean, if he just matches Stoops' start, he doesn't even make it past 3 years. Now, he's taking over a better situation. I forgot, was it Joker Phillips before Stoops? Is that who it was?
But the expectation in Kentucky's different. Not only, teams like, programs like Louisville are making the expectation different, but Stoops made the expectation different.
Stoops had 4 7-6s and an 8-5. It felt like that's where he lived his life, was 7-6 and 8-5.
I think you would take that as a Kentucky fan.
Probably so. I don't know. So I will say Brom at Louisville longer. I think he could be a lifer at Louisville.
Third down.
Wesley Snipes, 64 years old. If I ask you your favorite Wesley Snipes film, Jeeves, feel free to jump in here.
Blade and Blade 2.
I've never seen Blade.
They're a lot of fun. It's just Wesley Snipes, yoked out, dressed in all leather, some sweet Oakley shades, killing vampires.
Very cheesy, but New Jack City. Nino Brown, I would look there. Willie Mays,
Major
League.
Yeah, Major League was going to be in my discussion. White Man Can't Jump.
White Man Can't Jump. I thought that was an entertaining Ron Shelton film. And then I would go King of New York. I don't know if you've ever seen it with Lawrence Fishburne and Christopher Walken.
I've been meaning to watch that one.
David Caruso. It's an underrated organized crime film.
I'll tell you one I did not like that he was in, and it was somewhat anticipated because of the success of the original movie. But he was in U.S. Marshals, which was the sequel to The Fugitive. And boy, I mean, you want to talk about, at least they didn't do The Fugitive 2. So maybe people will watch U.S. Marshals and not realize that
I never knew that was a sequel to The Fugitive.
It's the same exact characters. How did you not know it was a sequel?
Because I've never seen the movie.
You've never seen The Fugitive or U.S. Marshals?
U.S. Marshals. I've seen The Fugitive.
Nah, don't waste time on U.S. Marshals.
My brief time out in L.A., I was in a movie that he was the star of called One Night Stand. You've probably never seen it. I don't recommend it. Mike Figgis, the guy that did Leaving Las Vegas, did it. But I got to see Wesley Snipes up close and personal.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But you didn't meet him, though. You don't know if he's a nice guy.
I mean, I didn't say anything to him. I mean, he was like stretching on somebody's lawn. They had blocked off a neighborhood outside of Beverly Hills, and I was in my Mazda Navajo, so I was just driving a car in this one scene. Yeah.
Mazda Navajo?
Yeah.
What is the Navajo? Is that like a...
It's like a Explorer. Same thing.
Okay. So it was the
same
Ford
thing. It was an
Explorer,
SUV, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like Jeeves can pull it.
Yeah. The Mazda Navajo. Do you remember what color? Was that?
Oh, yeah, it was gold.
Did it belong to you, or was it a prop on the movie?
It was mine.
So you owned a Mazda Navajo. What was your decision-making process there? Why did you say, you know what, I'm not going to get the Ford Explorer that everybody knows?
My old man was in cars forever, and
you found a good deal?
It's the one that came in rotation.
Well, that's a Ford Explorer there, Jeeves.
Yeah. I will tell you this. The AC went out on my trek back to Alabama. I went through the Mojave Desert with no AC.
In the Mazda Navajo?
Yep. My balls was hot.
I understand.
That looks like a knockoff Explorer.
No, it is.
Well, it is a knockoff
exactly
Explorer. Ford makes Mazda. So they just made it and put a different. Now, why Lance didn't just go name brand Ford Explorer, I do not know.
Again, it
with
was
a Mazda. You need to whip around a Miata.
It was just in the rotation. I'll tell you, somebody
The
that's
Miata was a big deal.
They quickly fell from grace was Wesley Snipes. Because, for a minute, he was like one of those big action stars and box office draw.
Then he had that tax evasion kerfuffle.
He dated J-Lo way back in the day before the Diddy parties, 94, 95.
Wesley Snipes dated J-Lo?
Yep.
I don't remember that.
They did Money Train together. It was Woody Harrelson, Wesley Snipes, J-Lo. Back before J-Lo, she had that baby fat still.
Right.
Short hair. Didn't look like the J-Lo of now. J-Lo now is so much better than the J-Lo of 30 years ago. You can get
So
past
she's
all
aged like wine, in your opinion.
I mean, I think she has.
Yeah.
I mean, can you give me a J-Lo Money Train and then see J-Lo now?
I love this
We're working the hell out of him back there.
I love the stuff we throw on Tyler. Let's see. Could you build up a Mazda Navajo?
Okay, look at J-Lo. This is 30 years ago.
Okay, so
you cannot tell me that she does not look much better now.
Yeah, she does. I'm not going to argue with you on this one.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of those, you pass her in the mall and you wouldn't give it a second glance.
All right.
But look at J-Lo now. Dude,
Yeah.
J-Lo Super Bowl halftime. Because this was what, 3-4 years ago?
Which you did the halftime Super Bowl was 3 or 4 years? Yeah, it was 2022, it says right there. Look, I don't disagree with you. Yeah, she has aged like wine.
Yeah, I mean, not even close, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That first one was before J-Lo had money.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure some surgeries have been involved.
Money
here. I don't doubt that
makes
at all.
people look better.
Yeah, it does.
4th down.
J.K. Rowling, the author of all the Harry Potter, 61 years old today. Mark Cuban, 68. Better career, Cuban or J.K.?
That's a tough one. I mean, Cuban.
They're both billionaires.
They're both billionaires.
Now, I would say Cuban's got more money, but once you get to that billion threshold,
And
what
they're
does it really
both
matter?
annoying too.
I don't really know.
I don't know much about her.
I don't know much about her.
Lived
She's
out of a
British,
car.
right?
Yeah, don't bother.
Yeah, but a great
Cuban is very, very annoying.
Yeah,
very annoying.
but a very creative person, right? J.K. Rowling. You got to credit her creativity.
Oh yeah, for
I
sure.
mean, when you can't pronounce half the characters and you're able to write like
And you continue just to churn it out. I mean, how many of those books has she written?
Too many.
There were 7 Harry Potters, and then I think they did the Fantastic Beasts spin-off book, and then she made another one that was like a collection of nursery rhymes from the Harry Potter world.
I'm actually probably going to go her because she created an entire universe.
She
When
really
we are
did.
dead and gone, people will still talk about that like they talk about The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings,
But
the
I
Marvel
find-
universes with Stan Lee. I mean, it's not going anywhere.
revolutionized how authors get these deals now. Nobody gets the level of creative control that J.K. got
Right.
during the production of Harry Potter.
It's just a remarkable success story how Cuban made his money from Yahoo. How, because he was an Indiana basketball fan living in Dallas.
Yeah, no, it is.
The games were not all the games were on TV, and he wanted to listen to the radio call. And he goes to Indiana, and he's like, what if I'm in the internet business. What if I just took your radio call and I put it on a website so people could go listen to it? And Indiana was like, that's a great idea by you. You can have it for free.
Yeah.
So then he's like, well, if Indiana will do it, will everybody else do it? So he starts going around to all these schools, and he launches broadcast.com.
That was the last time anything was given away for free.
That's right.
He was always on the breaking edge of technology because, I remember HD TV.
Yeah.
It was the only full-time, 100%, 24-hour network that was shown in high definition back in 2003, 2004. And that was
he
his
owned
network.
that? Yeah.
He owned that network and, Shark Tank. I mean, he's done a lot of things, annoying as hell.
Yeah.
What would have been the options for HD stuff in 2003?
Artman had a Artman Presents. He used to work for E! And he did the Wild On. So he would go to like Burning Man. He would go to Stagecoach and he would just interview man on the street kind of stuff. They also did one college football game a week. It normally involved one of our military institutions. But it was amazing seeing, a game in high def.
I think the first game I've told this before, the first game I ever saw in high def was a Florida-Tennessee game down at the Swamp. And then I remember, and I didn't have a high def TV at the time, but a friend of mine had one, and I remember how excited he got. He was like, man, I heard they're doing the Super Bowl in high definition.
Super Bowl 36, you saw Tom Brady win his first.
Yep.
That's my
and
guys.
it was in high definition, and it was a TV he had paid like $18,000 for this TV, some ridiculous price. Oh no, the first high def TVs, Tyler, were outrageous.
Yeah. I mean, mine was. I'll never forget. It was a 50-inch. It's still in my house. I got to get it out because it's one of those.
You've got an original HD
Samsung, yeah, and it works. I've replaced the ballast like 2 or 3 times, and it just doesn't get watched anymore. But it was $4,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it might
in
actually
2003.
be worth a good amount of money because people are looking to move back to the CRT TVs instead of like the flat screen.
What's a CRT
so I can get
TV?
money for this thing?
Cathode ray tube.
Okay.
I get money for this?
Possibly.
Do you want to list it? You know how to do this.
Are you gonna?
I'll have to check some prices because
I'm going to give him his taste.
Yeah, you go shave.
The other thing we watched, and I think I've talked about this before, there was and they would do it. They only had a certain amount of programming, but it was the beaver that built the dam. It was 2 hours of this beaver that was building a dam in HD.
I do remember that.
Yeah, this was back before edibles. It would be incredible.
Yeah, it
now.
was fascinating to just see how hard they work. I mean,
They do.
And they are persistent little devils.
Yeah.
Like, they don't give up. Like that water will keep flowing over, and they'll just swim over and get another stick, and they'll stick it in there. And
They are, like, I've worked with some people in the past that could not have been good beavers.
Yeah.
Because they had to work. Like, they would just tap out.
Yep. There was a local golf course that kept flooding because of beaver dam, and the beaver had backed the water up, and it kept flooding part. Anytime it would rain, it would flood part of the golf course, and they were going to blow the dam up, and the PETA people or whatever, I think they were going to remove the beavers too, and they got all involved, and it was a big mess. They got the municipality around there involved, and all the people living around there, and it was a big mess.
You know,
and I told them, I was like, I grew up in Calhoun County. I got 2 boys for 2 cases of beer. You'll never see those beavers again.
Beaver's another one of these animals we have painted differently than it really is. They can be aggressive.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and they've got the bright white teeth when you see them in like a cartoon. And if you see real beaver's teeth, they're like orange.
Yeah, pull up beaver teeth. I'm sorry to do this to you, Kim, but pull up beaver teeth. No, we've done this before. They are shockingly bad. All you do is chew wood all day.
And I'm not going to go like a tiger shark or a bull shark. But if you could go reef shark bites you or that, what would you take?
I think the reef shark's gonna bite you clean.
Okay.
This is gonna leave
that's the thing,
nasty scar.
Can you also pull up Jerry Kill? Just Google Jerry Kill, because every time I see Jerry Kill, I think of a beaver. Does that?
I don't know how the beaver, like the 2 top teeth are the same size as those bottom ones.
Yeah.
I don't see that, but
I'm sorry. Sorry to Jerry Kill, but I can't help it. Every time I see now, part of it too is he coached at Minnesota who are the Gophers.
Yeah.
And I always thought nobody looked more like their team mascot than Jerry Kill.
Well, I looked like 2 Gophers when he had the Gopher on the shirt.
Yeah.
That's really bad.
Yeah, no, I mean, Jerry Kill's a fantastic football coach. He's at Vanderbilt now, but when he was at Minnesota, I sit by myself a lot of these college football Saturdays and watch the game, so I think of weird things. And I'd watch Jerry Kill in Minnesota, and I'm like, is there a coach that looks more like their mascot than Jerry Kill? And I couldn't think of one in all of America at the time. Like when Ralph Friedgen was at Maryland, I was like, he looks like a fat turtle, kind of.
Well,
but,
I'll tell you, Krzyzewski would do.
Yeah,
he looked like a blue devil.
He did. He did look like a blue devil. Yeah. So Jerry Kill.
It's hard to do though.
Yep. That is 4 downs. Presented by Central Alabama Asphalt. All right, as we go to break, we'll do trash
Hey,
when we
where
return.
are Mexican pizzas?
I don't know. Did cheese get lost? Have we had a cheese welfare check? Is he back?
I don't think we've had a cheese check.
I was planning on.
I did give him a corporate Amex, so hell,
So
he
I
could
don't-
be
He's halfway
deep
to
in
Mexico
whatever.
by now.
We'll check the bill, see where he ended up. Central State Bank bringing you part of the show. That is the bank that is big enough to meet every need you have. They're large enough to meet all your needs, small enough to know you because they are a community bank. Right in Central Alabama, you can find a location near you. Everything from buying that first car to starting your own business, Central State Bank has you taken care of. Central State Bank, large enough to meet Jesus here, large enough to meet every need you have, small enough to know you. Central State Bank, member FDIC.
When a motorcycle accident turns your world upside down, who's going to look out for your family while you're healing? Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys is here for you, fighting for injured riders and getting families the compensation they deserve. The consultation is free. They don't get paid until you do. Alexander Shunnarah Trial Attorneys. Call 659-777-7777 or visit alexwins.law. Don't wait. Call 659-777-7777. alexwins.law. Physical office, Birmingham.
Sterling and the fine folks at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster want to welcome you in for a great lunch or dinner starting at 11 a.m. every day. Chicken that's brined overnight and cooked to order, and the taste of the Delta with those Delta recipe tamales. Champy's is perfect for all your tailgating needs this football season. You can also choose Champy's for your next party, wedding, or birthday. Great food, great people. Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster, and everything online at champyschicken.com.
At Central State Bank, we are large enough to serve you and small enough to know you. Manage your money with ease, whether it's mobile banking, hassle-free checking, competitive loans, business solutions, or personalized financial advice. We're your hometown bank with big-time service. Visit us today and experience banking made simple, because at Central State Bank, you come first.
Member FDIC.
Next Round shirts, Next Round hoodies, and Next Round hats all in one place, nextround.store. Find your favorite piece of gear from your favorite show and put it in your rotation. You never know, you might be in one of our videos showing Next Round gear being worn all over the world. Find all of your favorite Next Round gear by visiting nextround.store. Place an order for you and that big Next Round fan in your life at nextround.store. Look your best at work, at school, at the stadium, or anywhere you go wearing Next Round gear from nextround.store. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service. Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
All right, we continue on the Next Round. Thanks to Cheese. He made it back, by the way. That was good lunch. Champy's gives you a better lunch than that, though. Champy's world famous fried chicken brings you this hour of the show. Highway 119 in Alabaster, champyschicken.com if you want to see more. Those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, those great chicken fingers, the drinks that Megan slings behind the bar, great cocktail to start your weekend, the great sides, Champy's world famous fried chicken. I do like those baked beans, Tyler, because it's like, a lot of people call them cowboy baked beans. It's got like meat and stuff in them. That's what I like about it.
Yeah, there's a little bit of pulled pork in there or something.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
Very, very good. So you can get all that at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken, champyschicken.com, champyschicken.com. We're about to do trash. I was trying to see if we got you wanted to hear Shane Beamer, didn't you? Did you want to hear Shane Beamer? We're going to knock that off. Cut forward, Tyler. Shane Beamer. We started the show by talking about Scott putting this cut sheet out. I never know what's going to be said when the coach says it because I don't listen to him in advance. This one says, Shane Beamer doesn't think there's a ceiling on this program. Lance, you would argue that there's a ceiling.
There is a ceiling.
All right, let's hear his thoughts, and then is there a ceiling at South Carolina? Here's Shane Beamer.
I stood up here in 2020 when I got hired, or 2020 at the press conference, and I talked about two things. There was no ceiling on the football program at South Carolina, and nothing has changed. And I said that this was my dream job when I got hired back then, and nothing has changed. I'm more convicted about that than ever. Certainly last season was a difficult season, to say the least. There were high expectations, and we fell woefully short, and that's on me. We had 6 losses last season that were one-score games going into the fourth quarter. We certainly have to play better in the fourth quarter. But we don't seek comfort from that with how close we were. I'm accountable for everything that goes on in our program, made changes that I felt like we needed to make. We've gotten better because of it. I'm a big believer that in life, you've got to go through some uncomfortable moments in order to grow. And we went through some really uncomfortable moments last season, but we have absolutely grown from that. The expectation always has been, since I've been the head coach, and always will be at South Carolina, to compete for championships and to compete for a spot in the 12-team playoff. That's what we are still working towards each and every day.
I agree with you. I think there probably is a ceiling there, but he can't say that there is. I mean, if you're the head coach there and they're paying you all that money, and they're paying him a lot of money, he can't stand up in Tampa and say, listen, guys, I'm at South Carolina. The realistic ceiling is 10 or 11 wins.
I really still believe the most amazing thing I've seen in the history of covering this conference was Spurrier winning 11 games 3 consecutive years at South Carolina.
Yep.
Now, Spurrier is one of the best to ever do it. And what Beamer's done, 7 wins, 8 wins, drop back to 5, then 9 wins, then 4, very inconsistent. I kind of expect that at South Carolina, but I do think he's kind of a victim of his own success, only going 1-7 in conference last year. This is a pivotal year. Beamer could easily get fired this year, and you can't come out and you can't say that you can't win a championship and you can't put a ceiling on it because of the Indiana factor.
That's right. I mean, that has ruined it. Cignetti has ruined it for everyone.
Yep.
There's not one school out there where you say, well, you can't win a championship. Well, Indiana did. Now, the counter to that is, if I'm the coach, Indiana, you got to give me the resources Indiana gave Sig. You can't expect me to do it without resources. That's the reason. Is Sig a good coach? Obviously, he's a very good coach, and he's done well at quarterback in the transfer portal, but his school has also backed him with tremendous resources.
Right.
And, that's a two-way street on that deal. All right, so there is Shane Beamer from earlier in the show. As we go to Trash Crane U, bringing you part of the show today, our friends at Crane U.
Yeah, I want to remind you, if you are curious about a career in the crane industry, the first big step is getting certified, becoming fully compliant. Crane U here to guide you every single step of the way, from first-time operators to seasoned professionals seeking recertification. Their industry-leading training programs built for all experience levels, backed by a team with over 100 years of combined real-world expertise. Crane U will deliver the knowledge, hands-on skills, and confidence you need to succeed in the field. Inspections, training, certifications, whatever you need, Crane U's got it handled. For more information, you can go online, craneu.com. That is craneu.com.
It's hard. I mean, we had just finished building our dream home, my wife and I. You could walk out our home and look at the Golden Dome. We tore down an apartment complex to build this beautiful home.
LT's Trash is presented by Bud Light.
Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. We have busted in. Our friends from Bud Light are here, Folds of Honor today, so we're already getting after it.
That's right. That's their special Auburn can.
Yeah.
They've had Auburn and Alabama cans.
If you're an SEC fan, you got no problem drinking out of an Auburn
That's right.
can,
That's
right?
all SEC. Yep.
We start first. Facing severe financial difficulties, Peru's historic football club, Deportivo Municipal, has raised funds through an unconventional initiative by selling 1,000 sponsorship slots on a single team jersey.
Well, you could work for this joint, Lance. Can you imagine how much you could sell there?
That is busy.
Yeah, I'd say. I mean, if I'm one of the advertisers, I'm like, where am I?
This is Chip Brown's show. Now, the campaign attracted overwhelming support from small businesses and entrepreneurs, with all slots sold within 3 months. Now, the 4-time Peruvian champions launched the campaign titled The 1,000 Sponsors of Muni. After suffering financial setbacks, it saw the club relegated to the country's third-tier competition following the loss of major sponsors and mounting debts. Now, under the initiative, individuals, companies, and small businesses could purchase a sponsorship slot on the club's jersey for $59.
Wow, just $59. So they sold 1,000 at $59?
Yep. I mean, it's a
lot of effort for $60,000.
It is, and I would say that the next round would be willing to buy one of these, but nobody would ever see it because it's so small.
Yeah, the only thing I see is Echo, or is that ECO?
Yep.
You see where I'm talking about? Right there, Tyler. That's the only one I can actually pick out.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. Now, I don't know Peruvian companies very well.
Yep, and this is they're in the sort of 4th league in Peru, so they're not Premier League level. They are a few tiers under.
I didn't realize how many soccer leagues there are out there.
Oh yeah, ton. And the cool thing about this is every company that purchased a sponsorship spot on the jersey can now sell club merchandise at their business.
Wow. I mean, $60,000. I feel like you can't run a soccer team for $60,000.
Oh, it's gonna be tough.
I've never run one.
A 4th league team in Peru.
Still $60,000.
You can run that for $60,000.
Okay, all right.
Circle K back in trash, back-to-back days. Circle K customer says an AI-powered self-checkout added an $8.5 billion charity donation to their order when they only wanted a hot dog.
Very generous.
Now, the shopper shared the bizarre checkout screen on Reddit, writing, quote, "I just wanted a hot dog."
Hey, listen, 93% of that $8 billion at Folds of Honor goes right back to the recipients. 93%.
Yep. We would love to get that raised today.
$8 billion.
Now, according to the customer, Circle K has replaced 2 registers with AI-powered kiosk. With the store's only employee busy, they decided to use one despite previously seeing it add random products, including lighters and food that were nowhere near the sensor. The photo showed several bottles of Gatorade alongside the enormous donation to the American Red Cross. Kiosks still offer the option to pay by cash or card, although the customer did not complete the transaction. They said the employee behind the counter was, quote, astonished, adding that the two laughed about the unexpected charge. Circle K began rolling out its smart checkout technology in 2022, announcing plans to install more than 10,000 systems across 7,000 stores.
Boy, I tell you what, I'm bad about hitting the buttons without reading what I'm hitting just to get it done and get my drink. But I would have probably hit yes on that one.
What is the Gatorade Midnight Ice?
Good question.
I wondered that too, because I don't know what flavor All-American is either.
Yeah.
Glacier Cherry's delicious, though.
Oh, I don't like the Glacier Cherry.
Oh, what?
$8 billion's a lot of, I mean, you at least get a good tax write-off on that. $8 billion in donations.
Brooks says Midnight is a dark purple flavor.
Okay.
Okay, that makes sense. A woman in Utah has been arrested after allegedly setting a church on fire the day before she was meant to get married there. Seems like she got a plan, right?
Yeah, I would say.
Now, for most people, getting married is supposed to be one of the happiest days of their lives, surrounded by loved ones, be that family members or friends, celebrating a new chapter of your life. However, over in Utah, one woman's big day went up in smoke, just reading here, before it ever happened after she allegedly lit a fire at the same church that she was meant to be getting married at, causing over $100,000 worth of damage. Now, 25-year-old Tessa Moreno was arrested July 27th, facing aggravated arson charge. Moreno had been suspected in a 2.5-week-long hunt after the Relief Society room of a Church of the Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints building was set alight on July 10th. 25-year-old had been at the building alongside with her groom, other family members setting up for the wedding on the following day when the church caught fire. Quote, "It is believed that she started the fire within the church building while 5 others were still inside. She did not obtain a marriage license for her own wedding that was to occur the following day, but after the fire, she had lied, stating that she had." Now, according to the report, police interviewed Moreno's groom, who admitted that he had been to a hardware store for hooks. Upon reviewing the footage, they found that she had stolen 3 lighters as well just before the fire raged. 25-year-old has been multiple charges, including first-degree aggravated arson. Faces 5 years to life. Very strange.
As Nick says in the chat, just don't show up like a normal person, right? Just don't show up for the wedding like a normal person.
Yeah, I mean,
you don't have to burn the church down. Yeah. I didn't like that movie. Did you like Runaway Bride?
I never saw it.
It was a true story, I think.
I know a true story. I know one of our former bosses, they did a huge, it was in Atlanta. I don't know if you know this story. But they had a huge, one of these, she was a socialite, big society wedding, and day of, I mean, everybody's in town for it. And he just said, I can't do this. And
I do know that story, yeah.
Straight to the airport and went on their honeymoon without her.
He had plenty of money, that guy did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I knew a guy, I went to school with a guy that got cold feet and left a note on the bride's car the night before the wedding.
That's weak.
left town.
Yeah, if
I've never heard from him again. Don't know what happened.
Yeah, if I was her dad, we'd have a serious issue.
Oh, he had an issue.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So I don't know if you tracked him down. I mean, I literally think Lance, maybe like Alaska or somewhere like that. Like, didn't just
like
leave.
Jesse Pinkman?
Didn't just leave and go to Mississippi. He
What
was like, I am
going on
getting.
in his life where
Well,
he can only
there's-
leave a note and then he leaves to Alaska.
Tyler, there is more to this story that we don't know.
Very likely, but no, I do think it was. I mean, very long way from Alabama. Like,
Did you know the girl?
Yeah.
Is she remarried?
I lost track. I don't
Okay.
know after all that. I didn't know her well, but I did know her. Yes.
I thought Mr. Echo was supposed to keep up with this guy.
Well, she did not go to my school. He did. Yeah.
And finally, a TikToker sent his dog's ashes into space alongside his favorite Toy Story alien using a homemade device before tracking it down back to Earth. Now, the creator, known online as the Battersby, documented the tribute to his dog Oscar, launching his remains inside of a balloon with the Toy Story toy along for the ride by recording the entire journey with the attached $660 360-degree camera and a pet GPS tracker. Now, the flight took place May 7th of this year, fulfilling Battersby's promise to show Oscar the world. Footage captured by the camera showed Oscar's ashes rising above the clouds and eventually into low orbit above Earth. Explaining how the device worked, Battersby said, quote, "The ashes were in the balloon. When the balloon popped due to the pressure in the atmosphere, the ashes spread and the box floated back down." So there you go. That's one way to do it.
That is one way to do it. Seems extreme, but it is one way to do it. That is Trash, presented by our friends at Bud Light.
Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Join us today. We'll give you more details on this in just a second. 4 to 6, walk-ons, Tattersall.
That's right. First of all, tell them about, we'll do that right now. Yeah, we're going to be right there at Tattersall Park, the walk-ons location with our friends at Anheuser-Busch and Folds of Honor. They have been doing this all month. We're going to present a big check. We're going to have some raffle items. There's going to be a golf bag that is going to be raffled off among some other things.
Yeah,
so
you know
you got a
more
chance to
on
win some
this than
prizes.
I do because I wasn't at the first one. I was out of town.
We had a good time. And this is not, we're not doing a live show or anything. We were just hanging out talking to people. So this is a great time to come by and talk a little football before football season starts and help at great cause in Folds of Honor. What is that cause? We talk about it a lot on the show, but our friend Bob Fishback is here with us. He's the Senior Vice President of Folds of Honor. First of all, welcome to Alabama. A little hotter than St. Louis here in Birmingham?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
Not too bad, though.
Not too bad.
Yeah, you're used to it. It's summer.
We talk about Folds of Honor all the time on the show, and it's one of our favorite charities, but we try to explain it as best we can. You work for Folds of Honor, so if I'm watching this show and I'm like, hey, sounds like a great thing. I see the folded American flag. What am I supporting? What is the answer to that question?
Yeah, our mission, it's one sole purpose, and that is to provide educational scholarships to the families of fallen or injured servicemen and women or first responders. So education is a gift, and it's up to us to take care of those people that may have paid the ultimate sacrifice or any sacrifice, whether it's, in the military or whether it's a first responder. Those people are out there protecting our country, protecting our communities, allowing us to go to great football games, great events, walk around the streets. And a lot of times you don't even notice them, which is great. But they're there protecting us. And when something doesn't go to plan, we need to be there for those people.
The last couple of years, we've partnered up with our friends at the Pants Store and Academy Sports, and we've met some really cool people involved in the organization. Since you've been there, is there one story that really jumps out to you that you could share to kind of put it in perspective?
Yeah, there's so many stories. There's 73,000 scholarships that we provided since Folds of Honor started back in 2007. And for me personally, I did not serve, but I try to, make that up now by serving right now and serving those families. And we have a great partnership with Anheuser-Busch, and I used to work at Anheuser-Busch. So coming full circle and now working at Folds of Honor, that's kind of my story that I'm able to give back. And, I don't have the story. I know you had Rocky Sickman here at one point.
Yeah.
He was, an Iran hostage
that
for
was
444
absolutely
days.
incredible. Yeah.
That story always sticks out. And I don't have that type of story because Rocky and people like him.
Yeah, I'm not talking about personally, but much like a Rocky, just a family that you've come across where not only the organization maybe changed their entire lives, but just an incredible story behind it.
Yeah, there's a lady named Alex Maddox who lives in outside of Atlanta. And her husband served in the military, came back, he retired, and then he became a police officer. And he was killed in the line of duty 4 days before their son was going to be born.
Oh, dear.
And then they had another child that passed away. And she continues to move forward, continues to move on. She's a Folds of Honor speaker, but there's so many stories out there like that. And we went to the All-Star game last year, and she brought her son, and it was great because he was on the field. He got to meet some players. The Budweiser Clydesdales were there, and this is what Folds of Honor does, and its donors and contributors. They meet sacrifice with hope. And there's going to be those tragedies, there's going to be the sacrifice, but it's really the hope that we can bring through those experiences, through education, through scholarships, for all of these spouses and dependents.
This is not Folds of Honor saying this. This is Ryan Brown saying this, but our nation has failed our veterans. Our government has failed our veterans in so many ways. There should not be a group of people better cared for than the United States veteran, because we have nothing without the United States veteran. We owe them everything. Active duty soldier and the U.S. veteran, and now first responders. So it is wonderful to have an organization that steps in that gap, and it doesn't happen without the donations. That's why we're at Walk-Ons today, and why we've been at Walk-Ons throughout Birmingham all month long. But Anheuser-Busch is also incredibly generous. What's the number up to now?
37 million.
37 million from Anheuser-Busch. And that started years ago, and they have just continued to give.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say, is that, Anheuser-Busch has not forgotten about the veterans and the first responders. Budweiser supported the military for over 100 years. They used to build submarine parts in the breweries during World War I, World War II. So they've always given back to the military, and $37 million, over 7,400 scholarships in the 16-year partnership. Just amazing. If you think about it, 1 out of every 10 scholarships is funded by Anheuser-Busch. They're just an amazing partner, and they continue to give and give. And couldn't be happier to be here to support those guys and spend some time at Walk-Ons this afternoon.
Yeah, we want everybody to come out there from 4 to 6. We talked about this earlier. Since we've been doing this, we're coming up on 5 years. Or are we completing 5 years?
I never
really
remember.
Keep up with it.
We started in 2021.
But our favorite partners, Bud Light, Walk-Ons, Folds of Honor. It's just a great group coming together for an incredible cause. But for whatever reason, if you can't get out and join us today between 4 and 6, how can people just, maybe look up the organization over the weekend and just give a little?
Yeah, I would just go and search Folds of Honor Alabama. We have a chapter right here, and they're great. Last year, there were 375 scholarships that were given to Alabama residents last year to go to school. This year, we have offered over 500 scholarships, and that process is going on right now. The students are making their plans for the year, and they'll accept those scholarships over the next couple weeks. But that impact is here. So 1.7 million last year. It'll be over 2.4 million this year, just in the state of Alabama. So go to foldsofhonor.org. Click on the Alabama chapter, and you can get involved in a golf tournament, I think at the end of October at Old Overton. I think they're going to have one there.
Yep.
And that's a great way to contribute, or you can get involved, volunteer on the board or at the events, and also the donations.
Yeah, the Alabama money stays in Alabama, and you gave that number, and at one point, and you may know the answer to this, I think per capita, we are the biggest state per capita as far as scholarship recipients. So that shows you the sacrifice so many in our state have made. That should drive that point home.
Yeah, the Southeast is huge. I mean, with all the bases and all the veteran families, you have, Georgia, Alabama, Florida, Texas, all the way up through Virginia in that, that area right there. So that's big for us. And, right here in, at Alabama and at Auburn, we have over 100 students that are on Folds of Honor scholarships right now at those 2 schools.
It's great stuff,
It is.
man.
And real quick, I alluded to this because people give their money. They want to know what's going to the right cause, right?
Yes.
And I alluded to this during trash with you guys sitting here.
Yeah.
One thing we love about your charity, and if you've ever dealt with charities, this is an incredible number. 93%, 93 cents of every dollar goes right to the recipients. You got a very low overhead. It's going to require some overhead to run something like this, but you guys keep it very, very lean.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to make sure that when you donate to Folds of Honor, it's going to educational scholarships. That's what our mission is. That's what we want. And it's great people like, these guys over here at Anheuser-Busch and on the chapter, they're volunteers. Now, I work for Folds of Honor, so I got to go out and do this, but there's so many volunteers. There's 39 chapters across the nation that are volunteers, and that's one of the ways that we're able to keep that in the 90% percentile because people volunteer and give their time and give back to the organization.
Well, we are looking forward to today. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully, all you guys can come out and join us for a great cause. It's Friday, a good reason to have a cold beer. Come out, enjoy the Bud Light, $2 long necks, And $3 16-ounce drafts all day long of Bud and Bud Light.
All day. And this caps off. We're going to do a check presentation. That wasn't a surprise, was it? Okay. We're going to do a check. We're going to raffle some things off.
Yeah.
They know better than to just trust us to fly off the seat of our pants. They've known us long enough.
Welch loves this kind of stuff.
Yeah, they've got to say exactly this and don't say anything else. Just say this part right here. They know as well. That is going to be Greystone location, the Greystone location, Tattersall Park of walk-ons just off Highway 280. We'll be down there from 4 to 6. Bob, thank you for coming by, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks for all your support, and thanks for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Yep.
So thank you.
Folds of Honor, wonderful organization. That is going to do it for the show today and for the week. We'll see you at Walk-Ons Greystone this afternoon. If you can't make it by, catch everything on demand, and we'll see you Monday at 9 a.m. Have a great weekend. Thanks for watching us on The Next Round.